welcome back to Yesterday Today, folks. We're coming at you live from Ice Station Radio Station. Don't really have a good name for it yet. But yes, we are stranded here due to a blizzard that has struck our fair city and rendered us unable to leave the building.
Folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one. It's cold.
Oh, it's cold, and the roads out there are impassable. Can't even open the front door. There's a wall of snow in front of it. It's bad out there, folks. It is bad. But we're keeping the spirits up. Things are bound to get better at some point.
Yes, this is less of a broadcast and more of a cry for help. Please get us help.
That would be nice. Oh, by the way, so impolite of me. An emergency strikes, you forget all your manners. I'm Jake. This is McLean. This guy over here is Sydney.
Hey, Sydney back here.
Yeah, that's Sydney. The three of us are stuck in the building. There were four of us here. There were four of us stuck in the building for the duration of the storm. McLean, if you will recap what happened to our fourth member.
You fine folks might recall one Willie Huckster joined us for the evening on our last broadcast, and you know, at first I was hesitant, I was reticent to accept him into our studio here. As however, you know, given the conditions outside and the fact that he had bribed our landlord with some book whiskey, who allowed him to stay here, I had no choice but to welcome him in with open arms. And so we spent the night here, and then we spent 2 nights together, and then 3 nights.
We passed the time playing a lot of gin rummy as the snow fell outside. Turns out, according to Willie, it involved a lot of gin and a lot of rum. I had never played it that way before, but yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting little twist he added to the game. But anyway,
it was around the 4th or 5th night. I don't remember which one exactly. I lost count of the tally marks made on the wall there. That Willie, we had a bit of a heart-to-heart talk, and of course, at times spending so much time together with another person, you know, Willie said to me that he was sorry for all of his wrongdoings with us in the past and for trying to swindle us the many times he's done. He said that he was a changed man. At first I thought that was just the gin and the rum talking, but he seemed very sincere about it. And in fact, he said that he was going to change his life. And
it was a very touching monologue. I cried a little bit, I won't lie.
There was not a dry eye in the house. Then, of course, the next morning, we found out Willie had stripped off every single bit of the studio that hadn't been bolted down, stolen all the food inside of the building, and had struck out on his own.
Yes, sir, we had a traitor. We had a mutiny. Well, that's not a mutiny. He left, so he'd be a deserter. Yes, that's what he was. He was a deserter. And a thief, and the rapscallion and the reprobate, and we should have seen that coming a mile away. I don't know why we allowed him to do that.
I think it was the gin that allowed me to do that.
For me, it was probably more the rum than the gin. It was not a wise move. But yes, the storm continues to rage outside, and we now have very little to subsist on here in the studio. But we're keeping spirits up. Well, we're trying anyway. So, but for today, we, you know, never let it be said that the good snowstorm stopped the old show from going on. The old show has been stopped from going on from other things before, but not this time, no. Today we have, first up in the schedule, a double feature of the show Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. We've got Return Trip and Night on Red Mountain for you. Both sort of blizzardy, snow-themed episodes. Thought it'd be, appropriate.
Given our current snowbound situation. Sydney?
Yeah?
You're looking rather delicious today.
Oh, stop it. You sound like my Uncle Wally. God rest his soul.
Now, Roma Wines. R-O-M-A. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Roma Wines present Suspense.
Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Mr. Elliot Reed as star of Return Trip, a suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear.
Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, is presented for your enjoyment by Roma Wines. That's R-O-M-A, Roma Wines. Those excellent California wines that can add so much pleasantness to the way you live, to your happiness in entertaining guests, to your enjoyment of everyday meals. Yes, right now a glassful would be very pleasant, as Roma Wines bring you Elliott Reed in a remarkable tale of
Suspense.
Nurse?
Yes. There's someone to see you.
Yeah?
This is Superintendent Andrews of the State Institution.
Oh. What do you got there?
I've set up a dictaphone out in the hall. Careful of the wire, nurse, when you close the door, please.
The doctor said...
Yes, I'll make it as brief as possible. You may go now, nurse.
Very well.
Do you mind if I hook up this microphone at the head of the bed?
Suit yourself, fella.
Well, it was a choice between a dictaphone and a stenographer, and I figured that in your condition...
I don't feel too bad. Well, go on, ask your questions.
Now, I understand you were driving the bus. Tell me what happened.
You mean I can tell it in my own way?
That's right.
Great. I had an uncle once, that was a writer. He wouldn't have gone near this kind of a story, though, with a 10-foot pen. No, he went in for happy endings. Uncle Mort wouldn't even have liked the beginning of this one. Kinda dreary-like up there at the asylum that afternoon. You remember, there'd been quite a snowfall the week before. And far as the eye could see, everything was a dirty gray. Like a corpse that's been waiting too long for the undertaker. Well, around 4 o'clock, it got so dark, the lights had to be turned on in the asylum. And then the wind started moaning like a lonely banshee. Fine day for a murder, as the fella said. Well, there were 3 passengers sitting in the bus when I went outside for the return trip. 2 men and a woman. Maybe I ought to call her a girl, because she wasn't really much more than that. Anyway, these 3 passengers all had return tickets, and I went down the aisle collecting them. Tickets, please. Can I have your tickets, please?
Driver, how soon do we start?
Right away, miss.
But we're 2 minutes late already, driver. Oh, these little jerkwater bus lines never keep to their schedules. Now we'll never get out of these mountains before that blizzard lets loose.
Can I have your ticket, please, mister?
You really think there'll be a storm?
Why, sure, it can't fail. And, lady, when they have snow up in these godforsaken mountains... Well, this morning on the bus coming up, a man was telling me...
Well, here we go, folks. The windbag was sitting right across the aisle from the girl, second row from the front. Halfway back in the bus sat the 3rd passenger, all huddled up in his overcoat. He didn't open his trap. Well, that was the picture as we swung out onto the highway for the return trip. And this guy in back of me seemed to be itchy to start a conversation with somebody as soon as we got rolling.
Well, might as well get acquainted, miss. 50 miles before we get down to civilization, John Willard is the name. I said,
I beg your pardon. Were you speaking to me?
Well, yes.
I'm afraid I was...
Yeah, sure. These visits to the asylum, they're always depressing, aren't they?
Well, this is my first time.
Oh? Some friend?
My husband.
Husband? Oh, well, now, that's too bad. I hope he... Hey, what's that?
Some kind of a siren.
Yeah, that's the asylum alarm, all right.
But, driver,
One of the inmates must be playing hide-and-seek with the keepers. Happens every once in a while.
Gosh, what if it's my brother?
Oh? He the busting out kind?
Well, it kind of upsets him to see one of the family, but then if we don't come to see him, it upsets him even more.
I see what you mean.
Do they always catch them?
Well, they tell me the place has never lost a customer yet.
Oh, a moment ago, I was praying that it wasn't Jim, but now I don't know, even if they had to... Well, I mean, it would be better than seeing him as he was today. Anything would be better than...
Listen.
Hey, that's a police siren.
Sounds like they're almost on top of us. Yes, there they are.
Look out, they're going to pass us.
Pass nothing, they're flagging me down. All right, just keep your seats, everybody.
They're guards.
With rifles.
Hey,
Hey, we're looking for somebody.
Yeah, we heard the asylum alarm. Is someone...
Seen anyone along the road?
Not even a jackrabbit.
Officer, who escaped?
Greg, Albert Gregg.
Oh.
What a relief.
Hey, Holly, take yourself a walk down the aisle and keep your rifle ready when you look behind those back seats.
Are you kidding?
When was this coming out party?
I don't know. Maybe as much as a couple of hours ago.
Does this Greg have a gun?
Can't guarantee he hasn't. But it was a file that sprung him. A tiny steel file. He must have been working away at the bar since the day he was committed, a month ago.
His stay was short.
Nobody back here.
Okay, now, check the gents for identification. You know how it is, driver. You can't take chances.
Oh, of course not. Here's mine.
Huh? Oh, okay, driver.
Your name, Frank Keniston?
You can read, can't you?
Friendly cuss, ain't you?
You know, that's the first peep that passenger has let out. I was beginning to think he was a deaf mute.
Yeah? Well, here, driver, you can have this stuff back.
Oh, thanks.
John Willard?
Yes, sir.
Okie doke. Come on, Denton, let's scram. We gotta find Greg before he finds anybody.
Yeah. Hey, driver, you can turn around now and go back.
Go back?
Go back? Why?
Oh, no.
This Greg is a killer. What I mean is, when the mood strikes him, he strikes.
Well, what's that got to do with us turning back?
Didn't I tell you this man kills even without reason? Now he's got plenty of reason. He's got to get out of these mountains, but quick. If he's down the road, there are lots of ways he could stop a bus. I say turn back.
But that blizzard's liable to break any minute now. We could be snowbound up here for days. And if I have to spend a night, one night in that asylum, so help me, they'd have to keep me there. Oh, listen, driver, listen
Just
to me,
a
please.
second, Mr. Willard. You're just one passenger. There are three. Now, let's take a vote. What about you, miss?
Whatever you say.
Mr. Keniston?
I say keep going.
That settles it.
Hurry up, Denton.
Wait a minute. What does this Killer Greg look like?
Well, description says slight build, weight about 140.
Dark hair, brown eyes, 27 years old. Denton, get the lead out of your britches.
Yeah, but you know, I still...
We warned them, didn't we? Now, if they meet up with him, it's their funeral.
Yeah. Well, we can take care of ourselves, fellas. Well, after the guards left, I really set that bus to rolling. Out of the mirror up above the driver's seat, I could see that the girl was plenty scared. But she had nerve, I'll say that for her. When we slid around some of those snowbank curves, her lips would be drawn so tight the lipstick had a white border. But she didn't say boo. Willard, the windbag across the aisle from her, gave up trying to draw her into a conversation. And as for the third passenger, that English guy, Keniston, sitting halfway towards the back there, he kept acting like a clam afraid of losing its oyster. Might as well have had lockjaw, if you get what I mean. Well, we hadn't gone more than another mile or two before the wind started to rise, and kept it up until you'd have thought all the devils in hell were trying to break loose. It got black as the inside of a tomb until the snow started to fall. But with that wind whipping it around, it didn't exactly fall. Mister, that's what I call a blizzard.
This is getting on my nerves. What have we got here anyway? A collection of zombies? Somebody say something.
I was just going to say...
You were going to say that the weather is rotten.
Yeah, and she can say that again.
But that isn't what I was going to say.
No? What then, lady?
It occurred to me why the guards asked for identification.
Huh?
The description of Killer Greg. Slight build, 140 pounds, dark hair, brown eyes, 27 years old.
So what?
It's a remarkable thing. That description would fit you, Mr. Willard.
Huh? Oh?
And Mr. Keniston, too.
What's that? Me?
That's a peculiar thing, isn't it, driver?
Yeah. Come to think of it, both of them could fit that description. And I've also heard that he's got a very soft face, almost like a woman.
What do you think, Mr. Keniston?
I don't happen to feel like talking.
Yeah? Well, personally, I think the more I think of what she said, the more remarkable it becomes.
Yeah, she's got something there.
Only remarkable isn't the word.
What do you mean, Mr. Willard?
This man, Greg, may be insane, but he's not dumb. Now put yourself in his place. He knows he hasn't got a ghost of a chance making a getaway in the asylum clothing, see? So he borrows the wardrobe and identification of some stranger. Do you follow me?
We're way ahead of you, Willard.
It wouldn't be difficult for a killer.
I should say not, but that still isn't the end of his problem, see? He's fighting against time.
Yes. He's got to get out of these godforsaken mountains down to civilization before they can throw a noose around the whole area. And he knows if he's brought back alive, he'll be wearing a straitjacket until he's old as Methuselah.
You've got quite an imagination, Willard.
Yeah? Well, thanks. Now, the odds that Greg will be able to get himself transportation are mighty slim, except for this bus line. So let's suppose...
You've got a great imagination, all right. You got it all figured out. Bit too fat, if you ask me. Remember, please, sir, you're the one who was so dead set against turning back.
Really, Keniston? Well, I'll leave it to the lady here and the driver. Do I act like a lunatic? Huh? Well?
Search me.
There were times, long periods of time, when Jim didn't either. My husband, I mean. That was the terrible part of it. He'd be just like the old days, and we'd be so happy together, and then all of a sudden, just without warning, he...
Oh, I heard of lots of cases like that. Well, they tell me that sometimes it takes half a dozen of those special doctors, those...
Psychiatrists?
Yeah, psychiatrists. Yeah, well, sometimes they got to put a person under a microscope and study him for a long time before they can be sure, one way or the other. And many's the time they make mistakes. Well, I heard it one time when...
Shut up! Nobody's going to talk like that about me. It's Keniston that's been acting crazy. And I'll bet it wouldn't take a half a dozen psychiatrists to...
What's that?
Huh? An avalanche! An avalanche!
No.
Well, it's coming down!
Well, Superintendent, what do you think of the yarn so far?
Let's hear the rest of it.
Okay. If you'll help me get a swig of that water.
Sure.
The way they got me rigged up here. Oh, thanks. Let's see now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Acts 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Well, after the avalanche struck, I just sat there gripping the steering wheel, sort of stunned. There wasn't a sound except for the wind, and that was muffled by the snow barrier that packed us in. Even on the far side, the bus was buried up to the middle of the windows. Well, all this was only a matter of seconds, I suppose. And then suddenly the quiet was broken by the most gosh-awful racket. It was as if somebody had up and given the signal for my passengers to go completely nuts.
Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
Look out! Willard's got an axe!
The axe! Take it away from him!
Let go of it, Willard! Let go of that axe! No!
That did it.
He's the one. He's the one.
Lucky I saw him grab that fire axe. It's what the district attorney likes to call a lethal weapon.
And then some. Step back, he's coming too.
Tie him up.
You'll find a rope in the dashboard compartment. Get it for me.
Driver, I'll report you for this.
You will, huh?
I was going to smash your window so we could get out of here.
Oh, yeah?
Sure. What did you think I... Oh, so that's it, huh?
Here's the rope, driver.
Now, look here. Wait a minute. You can't do this. You can't tie me up, you fools. I'm not Killer Greg.
Maybe he isn't.
Maybe. But like that guard said, we can't take chances. If you're innocent, mister, you can prove it to the authorities.
If we ever live that long, have you forgotten that we're trapped here by an avalanche and a blizzard that could go on and on and on?
Just the same...
This is ridiculous.
Hey, miss, you feeling all right?
No, I'm not crazy, driver. But I guess I was a little. Actually, there's no proof that Killer Greg is on this bus.
Well, if you put it that way...
It's all my fault, and I'm sorry. My only excuse is that I was just so upset by seeing Jim, my husband.
Well, I still say
No. Now we've got to start acting like rational human beings. Let poor Mr. Willard up from the floor.
Thanks, lady.
Well, all right. But I'm warning you, Willard, no funny stuff.
Oh, snap out of it, driver, will you? We've got to get out of this mess. Hand me that axe.
Do I look that dumb?
Oh, all right. Then use it yourself. Smash your window so we can crawl out.
Willard, even you don't look that dumb. What makes you think the windows won't open?
Huh?
Then open one.
What for? To let in the blizzard?
But we've got to get out of here, driver.
Not me. It would take a bear to make even a city block in that windswept hell.
But we can't stay here.
Why not? We're not freezing. Yet.
The driver's right. Our best chance is to sit pat until the storm lets up.
Yeah, but what if it doesn't, huh? What if it lasts longer than we do? What then, huh? What then? What then?
Shut up! Blowing your top won't do any good, Willard. Nobody's ever confused me with Pollyanna. But things could be worse. This is as good an igloo as any, and if and when the weather clears, well, we can send out a party for help.
Or maybe a road-clearing crew will come to our rescue.
Yes, I suppose that's the sane thing to do. Wait here.
Well, how about you, Willard? You also decided to do the sane thing?
I don't like that crack. You one more like it? No.
Look, we're not starting that again. Now, it's going to be a long night, and we might just as well make ourselves comfortable and try to get some sleep.
Sleep.
Cut it out. Now, miss, you take the back seat. It's the only one that runs the full width of the bus. You can use your lap robe for a quilt.
All right, driver. I want to apologize again to everyone for the way I behaved. Casting suspicion.
Forget it. You need any help?
No, thanks. I just don't know what came over me starting that idiotic talk. Please believe that I did... Why...
What's the matter?
Why are you staring at the floor?
Well, say something.
Look. Look.
File. A tiny steel file.
The one that Greg...
After the avalanche hit, there was a mad scramble. One of you lost it then. One of you is Greg. Killer Greg. Let me out of here. Oh, let me out of here. Please, let me out of here. Oh, I've got to get out of here.
Well, we just let her wear herself out, kicking and banging on the door. Nobody said a word. Willard and Keniston just stared at me and at each other. By and by, the girl stopped her fussing, and then she stood and stared at the three of us in rotation. It would have made your flesh crawl. Outside, the blizzard was getting worse, if possible. Finally, I reached into the watch pocket of my pants and brought out the old timepiece.
What time is it, driver?
I broke the crystal. It still says 4:15.
It's 5:30. Only an hour and a half since we started out. An hour and a half.
5:30 in the afternoon. At the very best, we're stuck until morning.
16 hours.
Might as well be forever.
Look, miss, we just got to make the best of it. I still think you ought to go back to the rear seat.
And sleep?
If you can.
Willard, the driver, and myself will be keeping a rather close eye on each other. In the light of recent developments, you'll be all right. Here, driver, give me that axe.
Huh?
Let her have it for her protection.
Sure, let her have it.
Yes, give it to me.
Okay. You holding on to the file, too?
Of course she is. The file could also be a lethal weapon.
Well, she took the axe and the file back to the rear seat with her, and we all sat down to wait. Those were the longest seconds of the longest minutes of the longest hours that ever... Well, somehow it got to be 9 o'clock, 10, 11. Finally, it was midnight. Ever fought against sleep, with the cold numbing you and the wind lulling you? Sometimes even the fear of sudden death can't win against those odds. Time and again, the girl's eyes would close just for a second, and then they stayed closed longer, and her head nodded and her body slumped over against the corner of the seat. I got up and started down the aisle.
Where are you going?
Shh, Kennist. Can't you see she's asleep?
Where are you going?
Her lap robe slipped to the floor. I was going to pick it up and cover her so she wouldn't freeze. Any objections?
I'll do it.
Oh, no, you won't. Go ahead, driver.
You see, Keniston? Willard thinks I should do it. That makes it 2-1. Help me! Help me with this wild cat! Get that file away from her before she jabs my eyes out! She was like a devil on a pinwheel. And I was lucky to tear loose before she did any more than nick me about the face. Afterwards, when Willard told her what I was up to, she apologized. But I didn't go near her again all the rest of that night. Well, about 5 o'clock, the blizzard stopped. And at 7, the sun managed to break through. Then we held a council of war.
We can't send out for help.
Why not?
Don't you see, Mr. Willard? If we split up the men, whichever of you is Greg would have too good an opportunity. Whether he goes or stays.
You could go alone.
I'd never make it.
We could all go together. How about that, driver?
Well, no, I'd rather stick with a bus, Keniston. But before we decide anything, let's get out and look around. We got a window open on the far side of the bus and crawled through, the girl first. She was still clutching the axe and the file.
Here! Come here and look!
What?
Another few yards and we'd have escaped the avalanche entirely. We can shovel our way out. I'm sure we can.
There were 2 shovels in the tool compartment at the tail guard of the bus. That only let 2 men shovel at a time, with the third man getting a breather meanwhile. It took a lot of shoveling.
What's the matter, driver? Hurt your hand?
Oh, nothing much. This feels good to take off those stiff leather gloves.
Nasty blisters you got on that right hand. I'm thumbing the
Hey,
finger.
Keniston, are you shoveling or talking? We'll never get out of here at this rate.
It's your turn anyway. I'm tired.
Not as tired as Willard looks. I'll relieve him.
No. No, that's all right. I can keep going yet for a while.
Okay, then. Keniston?
Yeah.
Let me take a turn. I know I won't be much help, but I can at least try.
No. You're mountain guard. Though I'm sure you could do as well as Keniston. Keniston. Where's Keniston?
Why, he's right. Stop him!
Keniston was making a mad dash through the snow. Willard dropped his shovel and tore after him. I yelled for Willard to let him go, but I don't think he even heard me. For a while, it looked like Keniston was going to make it. But then he floundered and fell in a snowdrift, and before he could get underway again, Willard nailed him.
No, you don't. Well, he'll stay put for a while.
What'd you do, knock him out?
Well, what else was there to do?
Is he? Oh,
I know all the time it was Keniston.
you think his running away proves it?
It's the same as if he confessed. He knew it was his last and only chance.
What are we going to do with him now?
Tie him up. Then we're getting him and the bus out of here. Say, I wonder if there's a reward.
In no time at all, we had the bus clear and headed for civilization. Those snow-covered mountain roads weren't exactly my idea of a speedway, but I gave my motor the gun. Willard and the girl didn't take their eyes off Keniston. I kept watching him, too, out of the mirror over the driver's seat. He looks like he's coming, too.
Don't worry, driver. Those knots I made in the rope won't give. Besides, I'm keeping the axe handy just in case.
He's opening his eyes.
Watch him now. Watch him.
Yes, watch me. And listen to me, too.
Shut up, Keniston. Or I'll stop this bus and put you out for good.
Not before I've had my say. Willard and you, too, lady. Why do you think I tried to make a break for it?
Because
You're Killer Greg.
You fools! You blind, stupid fools! Was it my watch that had his crystal smashed at 3:45 yesterday afternoon?
So it was mine. So what?
At 4:45 yesterday afternoon, Killer Greg waylaid the real driver of this bus and took his place.
What?
That's how the crystal came to be broken.
Shut up, Keniston. You can't talk your way out of this.
It could be a coincidence.
Sure.
That's what I thought, too. Coincidence. Until I noticed the blisters on the thumb and first 2 fingers of the right hand. A file would make blisters like that. A file held in the right hand of Killer Greg.
Look at him! Look at him! It's true!
Greg.
Greg! Don't come a step closer, any of you. You make the slightest move and I'll crash the whole lot of us.
Don't do it, Greg. Stop the bus. We won't do anything.
It was a perfect plan. It had to work. If only that avalanche hadn't come along. But I'll still make it. I'll make it even if I have to. It rolled over and over and over and over. The bus and the glass all smashed. Everybody was all mangled and...
All right. Go to sleep now.
Sleep? Who can go to sleep? Who can go to sleep? Anyway, I outlived those 3. Killer Greg.
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. How often have you felt that you'd like to get away from it all? Just drop everything, move far away, start a new life, maybe even with a new identity. Well, it isn't as easy as it sounds, as the story you're about to hear demonstrates. So before you buy a one-way ticket to elsewhere, listen to Night on Red Mountain, which begins in just a moment. When news makes news, that's news. As several trade publications in the broadcasting field have recently announced, a week from tomorrow, CBS News on the Hour goes to twice its current length each weekday. Beginning Monday the 28th, you'll hear a first in network broadcasting history, the initiation of dramatically expanded coverage by award-winning CBS News. Full 10-minute coverage every hour on the hour. That's the date, November 28th, when CBS News goes double for you at this address on your dial.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't hear you drive in. I can't hear much of anything when the wind starts blowing.
Fill her up.
Yes, sir.
Better check the oil and water, too. Any hot coffee inside?
Yeah, hot and black.
That's for me. Must be close to zero.
Oh, not that bad. Down around 20. It'll drop tonight, though. Radio says we might get a blizzard.
And they call this sunny California.
Well, we're more than 5,000 feet here. 6,500 at the top of the pass up the road a piece.
Yeah, I know. I just come off it.
Were you heading north?
Yeah, Vegas. How far is it from here?
Oh, well, about 260 from Victorville, and Victorville's 32 from here. What's the matter? You lost?
What makes you think so?
Well, US 66 is a direct route. Not many cars come across Red Mountain in the winter.
Hey,
Yeah?
ain't I seen you someplace before?
Well, not unless you've been through here before.
I ain't never. Not back east someplace? You come from back east?
No, I never been. I come from up north. Eureka.
Funny, take that mustache off. You'd be a ringer for a kid I used to know once back in Jersey City. Joey Perino. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, lookalikes. You run into them sometime.
Sure you was never back east?
Sure?
Funny, without that mustache, I'd swear.
You'd be mistaken.
Yeah? Well, where'd I find the coffee?
Right inside. Sally will take care of you.
Yeah, you better check the battery and the tires, too.
Yeah, sure thing.
Good evening.
Give me a cup of black coffee.
Yes, sir.
The State Highway Patrol has asked us to make this announcement. Chains will be required on all cars in the mountain regions. Tonight's storm is expected to bring at least 6 inches of snow down to the 3,000-foot level.
Sounds like you might be snowed in.
Oh, won't be the first time.
It might be dangerous, considering your condition.
Oh, no. I'm not expecting until April. We never get any snow that late.
Not even when the weather's unusual, like they say out here.
Well, it's never that unusual. You better get Walt to put on your chains.
Ain't got any.
Oh? Well, then watch your step going down that hill, particularly Mule Shoe Curve. It's bad in snow like this.
I'll remember that. Is he your husband?
Who?
Fella gassing me up to this Walt.
Oh, yeah.
You two all alone up here?
No, there's my dad. And he'd better get a move on or he won't get back up that mountain tonight.
Where is he?
Oh, he went down to Victorville this afternoon for supplies.
Oh? You born around here?
No, up north.
Eureka?
Well, yeah, how'd you guess?
Your husband said that's where he come from.
He did.
Yeah. Doesn't he?
Well, he said he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hear of a guy named Joey Perino?
No. Why, should I?
Your husband looks like him.
Well, what if he does?
Oh, nothing. You ever been back east?
Never been outside the state. Gee, you ask more questions than a cop.
Oh, don't worry. I ain't no cop.
Well, she's all set to roll.
How much I owe you?
12 gallons, that'll be $3.95.
Plus the coffee.
Compliments of the management.
Huh?
It's a policy of the establishment. Free coffee during blizzards. Isn't it, Sally?
Yeah, sure.
Here you are, $4.
Get your change.
Don't bother. $3.95 for the gas, 5 cents for the coffee. I got a policy, too. I don't take handouts.
Oh, look now. What
I don't want to be
wrong?
owing anybody anything, sister. Particularly rats. Be seeing you, Joey.
Joey? What do you mean, Walt? Calling you Joey?
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense.
Walt? Will you tell me what he meant calling you Joey?
Oh, the guy's nuts.
He asked an awful lot of questions.
What kind of question?
About me, about you. He said you told him you come from Eureka. Why did you tell him that, Walt?
Oh, look, honey, the guy's nuts. I never told him I came from Eureka.
You never told me where you came from either, Walt. You just said you came from back east.
Well, what difference does it make?
It didn't then, when we first met. Well, it doesn't now, if you tell me it doesn't.
I tell you, it doesn't, honey.
Okay, Walt. I'm sorry.
You better get to bed, honey. It's going to be a long, cold night, huh?
All right. You coming?
A little while. Won't be much more business in this storm.
Yeah.
Mr. Pirelli?
Yeah?
I have a long-distance call for you from Victorville, California.
Who's calling?
Mr. Battaglia.
All right, operator, put him on.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello, Big Pete?
Yeah, Bat, what are you doing down in Victorville? We were supposed to be here in Vegas by dinner time.
Yeah, I know, but sort of got lost in the mountains.
Now, that figures. I know you to get lost in Jersey City.
Yeah, but wait till you hear what I found.
Gold mine, I suppose, huh?
No. Joey Perino.
You're kidding. Where?
The gas station back in the hills.
You sure it's Joey?
Positive. He's got a mustache, he's got a wife, and he calls himself Walt something or other. But it's Joey, all right.
Did he recognize you?
Sure he did, but he didn't let on. Thought I'd better tell you.
Now, wait a minute. If he recognized you, he'll take it on a lamb.
Not a chance. He's up here all alone with his wife. She's in a family way, and it's blowing up a blizzard. He wouldn't risk getting her out in this kind of weather.
Where are you?
The joint called a White Spot.
All right, sit tight. I'll be there in a couple of hours.
Well, how you going to do that?
Charter a plane?
But, boss, I'll be glad to handle him for you.
I'm sure you would, Bat, but this one I want to take care of myself in my own way. If you get what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I get what you mean. I'll wait for you here.
What's the name of this place he's at?
Walt Summit Service. Why?
Thought I might give him a ring before I leave.
Tip him off?
No. Offer him another chance.
Are you kidding?
What do you think?
Walt Summit Service, good evening.
Hello, Joey.
You must have the wrong number.
Walt Summit Service.
Nah, Joey, I got the right number. This is Big Pete, remember me?
There's some mistake.
There's no mistake, Joey. That just told me he was by your joint a little while ago.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about. This is Walt Summit Service.
All right, Joey, if you want it that way, it's Walt Summit Service and you're Walt. But back in Jersey City, you're still Joe Perini to the boys. And Joey, the boys miss you. All of them. Me in particular. I miss you so much, Joey, I feel I just gotta talk to you.
I'm sorry. You have the wrong number.
Walt?
Yeah, honey.
Who was that?
Hey, look, you're supposed to be asleep.
I was just dozing off, and the phone woke me. Who was it, Walt?
Oh, somebody had a wrong number.
Well, it took you long enough to tell him.
The guy was drunk or something.
Oh,
Go to sleep, honey.
aren't you coming?
I don't feel very sleepy. I sit up a while. Wait for your dad.
Well, all right, but don't make it too late. You know, I get lonely in here without you.
I know, darling. Go to sleep now.
Small craft warnings are flying from Point Concepcion to Point Dumas. All planes are grounded at Los Angeles International Airport. The Weather Bureau predicts that close upon the heels of the present storm is another developing off the coast of northern California. This is an undisguised blessing for the farmer in the San Joaquin Valley and the growers in Orange County.
Walt Summit Service.
Hello, Joey.
Wrong number.
You shouldn't hang up on Big Pete, Joey.
Wrong number.
Now listen to me, Joey, and listen good. I want to talk to you.
You got the wrong number.
Okay, Joey. Now you just listen to me, boy. You know a joint in Victorville called the White Spot?
Yeah, I know it.
Good. I'm at the airport in Vegas. I'm taking off from here in 5 minutes. You take off in 5 minutes, too, Joey.
Now, look here.
Don't hang up on me, Joey. Just listen. It'll take you about the same time to get down off that mountain as it'll take me to fly to Victorville. Meet me in the White Spot. That's an order.
I don't take orders from you anymore.
You'll take this one, or I'll come up there and shove it down your throat.
Oh, come on. Come on. A highway patrol car just pulled up outside.
Who are you kidding, Joey? You think you can scare me off with them two-bit cops?
Look, I'm not trying to kid you, Pete.
Well, that's my boy, Joey. You finally recognize your old boss, huh? Now, you ain't going to squeal at them orange pickers, are you, Joey?
I'm not a squealer, Pete.
Ain't you?
No.
How do I know?
Look, I'm telling you.
So how come you took a powder on me 2 years ago, huh? How come? How come you just blew?
I want it out.
Hey, Walt, are you in there?
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Who are you talking to?
The highway patrol. I told you.
You going to tell them why you walked out on old Pete?
Now, look, I don't tell nothing to nobody. I just want to be left alone. I want it out. I got it out.
You ain't out yet, kid. Nobody ever quits on me.
Hey, look. Leave me alone, will you, Pete? Sure, so I worked for you. I drove for you. I don't know nothing. I ain't talking.
You sure ain't.
I gotta go now. Just let me alone, Pete. For the love of heaven, let me alone.
Walt, there's someone at the door.
I know it.
Who you talking to now?
It's my wife.
Look, get rid of the cops, Joey. Tell your wife to go to bed.
You got the wrong number.
Meet me in 2 hours at the White Spot in Victorville. You got it?
Yeah, I got the number you're calling, but this
now,
isn't
you better
it.
be there, Joey. Or I'm coming up the hill for you.
In a moment, we will return for the third act of Suspense.
Good evening, Mrs. Parsons. I'm sorry I disturbed you, ma'am.
Oh, that's all right, Sergeant Toohey. Come in. Come on.
Thank you.
Walt was on the phone.
Yeah, Sergeant, some crackpot got a wrong number and can't get it out of his drunken head, you know.
Well, I just stopped by to see if you folks were all right.
Oh, yeah, sure. Snug as a bug in a rug.
Say, would you have a cup of coffee?
Why, yes, thanks, Mrs. Parsons. I guess maybe I dropped by for that, too.
Well, there's always some on the stove.
Well, how's the weather outside, huh?
It ain't a fit night for man or motor car. Pass is closed, and we won't be able to get plows through from the other side of the mountain until, tomorrow forenoon.
Well, that's what you can expect in February.
Oh, there you are, Sergeant. Sugar, cream, and hot, I hope.
Well, that's wonderful, Mrs. Parsons. Thank you.
Say, Sally,
Yes, darling.
like the sergeant says, you know, it ain't a fit night out for a man or motor car.
Yeah?
Well, I thought we might put him up for the night. Huh?
Why, of course.
Oh, no. I wouldn't want to inconvenience you.
Oh, but it wouldn't be any
No,
inconvenience.
not at all. No inconvenience at all. We'd sure like to have you stay.
That's right nice of you, believe me, but I've got to get on down the road.
Oh, but it's after 10 now, and you're off duty.
No. In a storm like this, nobody's off duty. Well, thanks for the coffee, Mrs. Parsons.
Welcome.
Say, I got something to thank you for, Walt.
Oh, what's that?
The only laugh I had this evening.
I'd like to hear it. What's the laugh, Sarge?
Well, that car out front.
Huh? What car?
A couple of hours ago, when I was going up to the pass, that two-tone job standing out front with the big tail fins.
What about it?
Gold and white, covered with mud and the snow piling up on it. It sort of reminded me like a bathing beauty on a ski slope. Cars like that weren't designed for this kind of country.
No, I guess they weren't.
Yeah. Well, good night, folks, and thanks again for the coffee.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good night, Sergeant. Oh, I'll get it, dear.
No, I will. Walt, Summit Service.
You ain't left yet, Joey? Get going.
You got the wrong number.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Darling, what is it?
Screwball.
Oh, what's he wrong?
Oh, who knows? He's drunk. Let's go to bed, huh?
Oh, I'm not very sleepy. I know what. Let's sit up and wait for Dad.
Oh, he won't make it now.
Well, he might.
Oh, let's go to bed, I said.
Well, all right, honey. Well, go to bed.
Well, go then. I gotta lock up, huh?
All right. Walt.
What?
Well, what's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. I gotta look up, that's all. Get to bed. Stop asking a lot of stupid questions, will you?
That will be 20 cents for 3 minutes.
All right, here you are, sister.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Pete?
Well, how'd you guess it'd be me, Joey?
Now, look, let's cut the kid.
I ain't kidding, Joey. I'm disappointed. Real disappointed. I fly all the way down here to Victorville just to talk to you, and what happens? You ain't got the courtesy to come down the hill to see an old pal. How come you ain't here, Joey?
I'm not coming, Pete.
You ain't, huh?
No.
Well, then I guess I have to come up there.
Nobody's asking you.
Now, Joey, that ain't no way to talk.
I'll lay off, will you, Pete? I ain't done nothing to you.
You walked out on me, Joey. Nobody walks out on Big Pete. I'll see you in an hour. And, Joey...
Yeah?
Don't try taking no powder. Fella at the bar just told me that the pass is closed. The only way out's down the hill.
I know it.
You want to change your mind and come on down, Joey? Joey? Joey?
Were you flashing, sir?
Yeah, I was cut off.
Well, just a moment. I'll try to connect you. I'm sorry, sir. There seems to be trouble on that line. Probably the storm.
Okay, sister, thanks.
Coming?
No. but it couldn't be better. The line just went out in the storm.
And the pass is blocked. But a sweet setup.
Ain't it? Let's go.
A pleasure.
In a moment, we'll return for the concluding act of Suspense. Okay.
That you, honey?
Yeah,
Come to bed, darling.
I can't.
Where are you going? What are you putting on your coat for?
I gotta go down the hill.
Oh, Walt, what's the matter?
I'm worried about your dad. I'm gonna look for him.
Now you know he's probably staying in town at the Rances. If you're worried, telephone them.
I tried. The line's out. I gotta go down the hill.
But, Walt, you can't leave me here alone.
I got it, honey. I got it.
But I'm afraid.
Look, there's nothing to be scared of. You'll be safe here.
Your gun. Why are you taking your gun?
Feel better with a gun.
Walt, you're keeping something from me. You gotta tell me.
There's nothing to tell, honey. Get back in bed, honey, please.
If you promise not to go out.
I can't. I gotta go, and I gotta go alone.
Well, then it isn't Dad. It's something else.
Now, look, honey, don't make me...
Hey! How come the place all lit up like Christmas tree? Can't be that much business tonight.
Oh, Dad, thank goodness you're here. This silly husband of mine was just going out to look for you. He was afraid you skidded into the canyon or something.
An old mountain man like me? Oh, fiddlesticks. I'm glad you're dressed, though, Walt. I promised Sergeant Toohey I'd send you down the road with the tow truck and give him a hand.
Accident?
Yeah. Some darn fool was driving without chains. Went through the guardrail on Mule Shoe Curve. One of these fancy new two-tone jobs with airplane fins.
Gold and white? Hardtop convertible?
Toohey didn't specify, but he recognized the driver. Big shot gangster from back east, he said. Name of Big Pete Pirelli. Yeah, that was it. Didn't know the other fella.
Were they, hurt?
Hurt? They're both as dead as last week's hamburgers.
Okay, I'll get going. I guess I won't need this gun after all. I'll be back in a little while, Sally.
All right, honey.
See that she gets to bed, will you, Dad?
Sure, son.
She hasn't had much sleep tonight.
Don't worry, darling. I'll sleep now.
Good. You know something?
What?
I love you very much.
All right, welcome back to Yesterday Today. That was a couple episodes of Suspense there. McLean, how much do you think it's going to cost to repair the window that Willie broke to jump out of the second story there?
It's not my building. I don't particularly care.
I don't know.
And after all, the landlord was the person that agreed to let Willie stay here for half a pint of book whiskey.
Yeah, this really is on him. However, we're going to lose a lot of heat we have left in the building with that broken window. So if you
a lot of trees died for that book whiskey.
Yeah. Sydney, can you put a piece of plywood or something over that?
Yeah, I'll get right on that, fellas. But first and foremost, we have a bit of an issue. Not a lot of supplies left. Very low resources. None, in fact. We have no food, no water, and frankly, I'm starting to get trench foot, gentlemen. It's a nasty case.
Sydney, how are you getting trench foot inside of... You know what, I don't even want to...
Well, at least Willie left us this pack of cards. Oh, Nope, looks like he just left the jokers in here.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the kick lately to bring back those World War I diseases. Kind of a little hobby of mine.
Well, takes all kinds to make a world, Jake.
I suppose so. So, since Willie's left, lit out for presumably safe haven somewhere else, I'm thinking it might be time we risk venturing out there.
I don't know, man. The only thing really keeping me going at this point is the thought that he probably died out there in the snow.
Well, we can always hope, but I would not recommend leaving the building, guys. You see how hard that snow's coming down out there? No visibility. We could turn around like that and probably freeze to death in a snowbank. Not to, not to dampen our spirits at all or anything.
Great, well,
we could try to find Willie and make sure he's dead.
While we ponder our many disturbing outcomes, all of them likely to end in our deaths, I thought it'd be nice if I pulled out a gem from my my radio aircheck collection. Haven't gone to this well in a while. As you may or may not know, I have a habit of collecting airchecks from radio stations, just recordings of stations after they transitioned away from the standard radio format that was the norm up until the late 50s when suddenly rock and roll was the big thing. But this has nothing to do with rock and roll or old time radio. This is actually from 1977. I have about 3 or 4 air checks from stations during the blizzard of 1977 that hit the upstate New York, Niagara, Buffalo area, late January of that year. And I love them a lot because it's very fascinating to hear the stations try to do their normal programming, but also wrapped around the emergency broadcasts. I enjoy it a lot. It's an interesting piece of history. But this one in particular was from radio station CJRN, a couple days after the brunt of the blizzard hit, and the whole area was still paralyzed. And they were doing these emergency broadcasts where they were people were calling in, they were giving advice, trying to get bulletins and stuff out to people. It's really cool. This is it's CJRN radio station. I think they were either based out of Canada or they were very close to Canada, but this is Operation Antifreeze. It was recorded by a 10-year-old kid in Fort Erie who thought the whole blizzard thing was pretty fun, as I would have too at his age, and decided to record the radio station. Man, wouldn't that have been something to be there during that moment? Oh wait, we're in our own blizzard. Why aren't we recording a radio station right now, McLean?
Podcasting, Jake. It's the way of the future.
It makes me sad. You lose something, man. You lose something with that. Anyway, this is CJRN's Operation Antifreeze.
I thought we were going to die in this blizzard out here in the cold, and man, Jake, you always know just what to play to pick up my spirits.
Heck yeah.
No flights at Buffalo International Airport till tomorrow morning. No flights at Buffalo airports until tomorrow morning. Toronto Airport is all go. I'll go at Toronto Airport. If you have to catch a flight, the buses are running there. Do not drive. The Burlington Skyway is closed in both directions. You'll have to detour via Burlington Avenue. Now, one updater now on the weather picture as it stands now for this afternoon. Very windy and cold. Very windy and cold with blowing and drifting in whiteouts. Squalls, especially around the lakes. The same for this evening. Hopefully after midnight the winds will start dying down, but there will be some drifting. No end in sight to the cold wave. Temperatures today and tonight should hold fairly steady at what they are now. That's around minus 13 degrees Celsius or 8 above Fahrenheit. That is 8 above 0 Fahrenheit. With the winds, the wind chill factor is 40 to 50 below. 40 to 50 below. The time, 10 minutes after the hour of 1. You're listening to CJRN's Operation Antifreeze on 710. Now back to John Michael.
Well, Scott McKinnon's been found, which is great news. That was that 10-year-old boy who was missing for an hour. We found him, so we can rip that one up. Ron Mace, however, is still missing on the Ozark Trail in Ridgeway. If anybody knows where he is, would you please call? Last we heard, he was walking, and he hasn't been seen for about an hour. Ridgeway has snowed under with 20-foot drifts. Gentleman who called wanting food for that dog in Thunder Bay, please call 894-1459. That was the dog that hadn't been fed in some 2 days. It was apparently loose, and the suggestion was if you're going to feed the dog, kind of go up there and toss it out of the window. Don't get out, because the dog is a little hungry. We've got 3 kids and a mother who need food. They've been snowed in for 2-3 days now around the Oxford Street, Crystal Beach area. And we need some food to them. They can only be gotten to with a snowmobile. 894-3629 is the telephone number to call if you want to reassure that mother that food is on the way. Gas stations open. Golf on Bridge Street is open. Black Horse Gas Bar, Highway 20, and Lundy's Lane. Telephone number for those donations, 356-67104 money. The snowmobilers are starting to break down now. And so are the four-wheel drivers and the snow plows, and these fellas have been putting gasoline in there and making repairs for the last 36 to 48 solid hours. The snowmobiles are starting to break down, and we're getting some money in from people, and we've also got some people saying, where the heck can they get some repairs done? Well, if you're listening, we're going to put these numbers on the line. Mr. Moon of Stevensville needs a drive clutch for an Arctic Cat Panther 399cc, a 1970 model. Where can he locate one? If he can get that drive clutch going, he can get his snowmobile back on the road. St. Catharines, a volunteer to pick up senior citizens to take them to the post office in St. Catharines. Call Mr. Wilson at 934-5823. Toronto Stars to be delivered only in St. Catharines, but I got a feeling that that's probably going to be out as well. The wind is starting to hit us again at 50 to 60 miles an hour. Was it 50 to 60, Bill? I'm sorry.
Gusting as high as 50 in some areas, John,
Okay.
bringing the wind chill factor down to 40 to 50 below.
That's where I was getting that 50 stuff. Okay, it's still high enough to say that if you allow your child out, you're a little bit irresponsible. So it says here in front of me, Toronto Star only to be delivered in St. Catharines. I would imagine that there won't be too many delivery boys delivering anything in our Garden City today. St. Catharines Transit, the last we heard, is still running, except the buses to Port Robinson. The Thorold Credit Union is open until 2 o'clock this afternoon, which is just 3/4 of an hour from now. Good news for those that need some feed for cattle, or feed for livestock, or feed for animals of any kind. The Thorold Flour and Feed is open. That's on Front Street in Thorold. They tell me the St. Catharines Standard is still delivering, except to the rural routes, but I would imagine there'll be some second thoughts on that one. Let's go now to Welland, where the situation is again very, very serious in Welland. Crowland Emergencies, Fire Station 6 on Schisler Road is serving now. The number is 735-7142. Carey's Welding Service. Now, this place is open free of charge to get those snowplows back on the road. If you have a snowplow that's broken down in Welland, Carey's Welding Service will do it for you free of charge to get you back out there. Call 384-9037. I got here a throttle cable needed for a snowmobile. Here's a number. If you can help this gentleman, he can get that throttle cable going and get the whole darn thing back into shape again. 382-3793. 382-3793. Fort Erie, the town is getting flooded with calls from people wanting to help people offering money. They ask that you send a check to the treasurer, town of Fort Erie, or call 871-4016. 871-4016. That's just super. You know, it gives a lot of people outside of the stricken area a chance to participate in some form. We've got calls now coming in from all over Ontario. People in Toronto and Oshawa, Ajax, every place calling in saying, how can we help? Well, now you really can help. If you really want to, you can send some money. Because Bill Shepard is short of cash. No, you can send some money, because the snowmobilers are now starting to run into repairs. They've been running on their own gas, and they've been doing this, not only snowmobilers, but four-wheel drives and big trucks, everything. They've been running on their own gasoline, and they're also now running out of parts. And once that happens, there's a lot of people in the outskirts of the area of Southern Peninsula here who just will not be able to get food, will not be able to get help of any kind. So we got to keep those snowmobiles going. It's going to take some money, and thank you very much. You now can contribute. If you'd call this number, 356-6710, we'll kind of take your cash contributions just by name only. That way we can put a pool up and we know how much we're spending for the fellas who are stopping in here who need repairs. And in Fort Erie, if you'd call the Fort Erie City Hall or Town Hall, that'll get you through, or send your check to the treasurer, town of Fort Erie, 871-4016. Snowbound Howard Fritz of Fort Erie is offering free milk to anyone who can get through. Now, he's only going to have to throw it away. Trucks can't get into his farm to pick it up, so snowmobiles are welcome to pick up the milk. The farm is off Point Abino Road. Now, we know that Crystal Beach has run out of milk. So the snowmobilers in Crystal Beach area, or any place else actually, if you can get to the Howard Fritz farm of Fort Erie, he's going to have to throw his milk away because he can't get anything in there. If you can get there, take that milk to Crystal Beach, that's where we need it. There are so many farmers who cannot get the milk. Once they've milked, they're throwing milk away. They can't get any trucks in to get the milk out.
Yeah, John, also, we might mention that if they get that milk, don't deliver it to themselves. Get it to a place where the militia will be operating from, or other large emergency vehicles, and they'll transport it.
You can call Howard Fritz at 382-3306, where he's only going to have to throw the milk away. Stanford Variety on Lundy's Lane, back in the Falls again, is open until 11:30. Or rather, no, that's 11 o'clock, actually. And we've still got the word here concerning whether or not the newspapers will be delivered. I don't think that's an emergency. Vince from Pioneer Collision, call Lois at 358-7630. I still haven't heard whether or not we've got some food out to 3 children and a mother. And let's be blunt about it, the mother and the 3 children, the mother cannot afford to pay for the food. The welfare check has not arrived, and she can't afford to pay for the food, but we can't afford to keep them hungry. They need food. They're at Oxford Street in Crystal Beach. I haven't yet heard whether or not the food has got there, and until I hear otherwise, I'll keep repeating this. You can call this mother at 894-3629. Be back in a moment. It's 18 past 1 on CJRN's Operation Antifreeze. I can't hear you.
You want me to take it now? I'm not going to do my own suits for you today, John.
No, I tell you, we save that for when it kind of calms down a little at nighttime. But right now, I guess we're right in the middle. How many more hours? When I first met you this morning, which was around about 8:30, 9 o'clock, the word I heard was 12 more hours of the storm before it even started to abate. How are we standing now?
Okay, this is hour 73. Hour 73 of Operation Antifreeze on CJRN 710, 19 minutes after the hour of 1. As we will update the peninsula for you, I'd like to tell you that the entire Niagara region, again, snowbound today. Police asking that you keep your vehicles off the road. They are keeping their patrol cars off the road as much as possible. Schools in the Niagara region closed today. Hundreds of cars have been abandoned. Some are buried under snowdrifts as high as 25 feet deep. We have some homes also snowbound under drifts. One snowmobiler going right over the top of one house. Much of the southwestern part of the province remains at a virtual standstill because of the high winds and severe drifting associated with poor visibility. Militia members of the Welland and Lincoln regiments and snowmobile owners have been asked to report to the Emergency Measures Organization headquarters in St. Catharines. You can talk to people there, or you can call 356-NEWS, 356-6710, and tell us where you are. Give us your phone number, and we will pass it on. They are using CJRN also as a focal point for information. Let's give you an idea of what's happening in other parts as well as the peninsula. Then we will outline the peninsula for you. Provincial police say Prince Edward County, now that's south of Belleville. We also reach into there. They say that Prince Edward County is isolated with all roads closed. At Picton, the county's largest center, police are not allowing anyone to leave town. So they've sealed off Picton. All county schools, many industries in the town's business sections closed. Police say many calls have been received from residents who, unable to leave their homes for 3 days, are running low on food. Provincial police in Belleville have one car patrolling Highway 401. All other cruisers have been pulled off. Several policemen unable to reach the station. In Oxford County near Woodstock, strong winds continuing to hamper efforts by road clearing crews. Most county and township roads are closed. All school buses in Waterloo region and in the counties of Wellington, Huron, Bruce, Grey, and Perth canceled. Highway 401 in that area, open, visibility near zero. The Ministry of Transportation reports light to heavy snow squalls now in the Windsor-Sarnia area, as well as southern Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. Many highways in southern and southwestern Ontario are closed or restricted to one lane for emergency situations. A note from regional police now in Niagara Falls. Please stay off Thorold Stone, Niagara Falls town line between Beaver Dams Road. That's Thorold, Niagara Falls town line between Beaver Dam Road and Thorold Stone Road. There are too many cars piling up. Too many cars piling up. I don't understand that situation at all. We've been telling you for the past 73 hours to stay off the roads, but apparently you will not heed the suggestions from the police and from the radio station. All roads are bad. Please stay off unless it's an emergency. Heavy drifting reported on Morrison, Montrose, Thorold Stone, Dorchester, to give you an example. Parks Police say that unless it's an emergency, do not travel along the parkway. Exit at Burning Springs and then take Portage if it is an emergency. That's Burning Springs and Portage. Canada Coach Lines reporting that they will be running buses from the Falls to St. Catharines onto Kitchener, Galt, and then to Hamilton. They will not be running buses to Fort Erie or Buffalo. Grey Coach is running from the Falls to Toronto. They are being able to detour around the Burlington Skyway. The trains are running out of Niagara Falls. We are still trying to get exact times for you. There is no public transit in Niagara Falls whatsoever. No public transit. The schools shut down. There is no mail delivery. The north end and west end of the Garden City. City Hall is closing. The north end, west end starting to get hit. Everyone is being asked by Mayor Roy Adams to get your cars off the streets. Please get your cars off the streets to let snowplows through. Ontario Provincial Police advising us that the QEW from the Garden City to Fort Erie is down, closed. From St. Catharines to Hamilton, the QEW is snow-covered due to moderate to heavy drifting or to nil visibility. Highway 406 from St. Catharines to Welland is closed. The 406 is closed down. Public transit is running in the Garden City, but the Point Robinson bus is only going as far as Wyndon Village. No schools open, no mail delivery. Highway 20, visibility nil, heavy drifting. Highway 58 is closed. If you live in St. Catharines or you're stranded there, you are out of luck. You will have to stay there. Number 8 highway is open. You take your chances. Number 3, Haldeman Welland line to Dunnville down. Dunnville to Norfolk line closed. Other closures, 58 South, Welland to Port Colborne. Highway 140, Welland to Port Colborne. Far Old Stone Road in Niagara Falls, as I said, closed, as is Niagara Stone Road. In Welland, Port Colborne, we again put out this call to Mayor Pitts. If you're snowbound, or would you please get through to us at 356-NEWS. That's Mayor Pitts of Welland. Will you please call us 356-NEWS? The city engineer, Art Lindell, will you please get through to us on the same line, 356-NEWS, if you're listening. City Hall in Welland is closed. All roads and highways are blocked by heavy snow. Visibility down to zip. Some homes in Port Colborne, and we have reports that some homes are drifted right over. There are no buses running, no schools, no mail. Mayor Saraceno of Port Colborne advising us this is an emergency. Conserve on water. There are no reserves. Conserve on water. No reserves in Port Colborne. Fort Erie, Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, Wainfleet roads are blocked. Stay in your homes. The Army is now headed for Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, and Stevensville with loads of groceries. They'll be dropped off at fire halls and distributed from there. So that's the Army now headed for Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, and Stevensville with a load of groceries. They will be dropped off at fire halls and distributed from there. In Buffalo, New York, National Guardsmen, the plea being put out on radio and on television, you are wanted for 5 days of active duty. National Guardsmen listening, you are wanted for 5 days of active duty because of the situation there. Officials say high winds could make it a losing battle as they try to clear snow-clogged streets. At least 8 people died in the weekend blizzard in Buffalo. 7 were found in their cars alone. We have 1 case of a person dying in the Fort Erie area because of a heart attack. He was stranded in his car. Police in Buffalo say scores of businesses, homes, installed vehicles. I don't understand this, John. We're looted during the weekend by thieves taking advantage. We've had incidents of looting around the peninsula. For Pete's sake, stay away from those vehicles. And okay, Niagara College now closed for tomorrow in all locations. Niagara College closed for tomorrow in all locations. No flights at Buffalo International Airport until tomorrow morning. No flights at Buffalo International. If you're taking a flight out of Toronto International, it's all go. If you have to catch a flight, do not drive. Do not drive. Take some other mode of transportation. The weather for this afternoon, very windy and cold with blowing and drifting and whiteouts, squalls around the lakes. The same for this evening. After midnight, the winds may die down, and I say may. Tomorrow looks a little better. Some drifting with light winds. No end in sight to the cold wave. Temperatures today and tonight fairly steady, around minus 13 degrees Celsius, 8 above 0 Fahrenheit, but with the wind chill factor making it 40 to 50 below zero. 27 minutes after the hour of 1, we're in hour 73 of Operation Antifreeze on CJRN.
Well, it started with some good news. The lady in Crystal Beach with those 3 children has been taken care of. Food is on the way, matey. My ma'am, my lady. Food is on the way. Super news. Lady on Oxford Street needing milk is being looked after. She will get her milk. So there's 2 good news. We also found that young boy. Incidentally, this is a good time to Just jog your memory. Some things you take for granted sometimes, but let's jog your memory. If some youngster is in with you playing with your son or whatever it is, just call home and make sure his mom knows or her mom knows. Because in this kind of weather, you can tend to have a little bit of hysteria. To just call and say, I got Jimmy or I got Jane or something like that. They're with me and they're playing, and call home and make sure everybody understands where everybody is. That way, we don't tie up a telephone line for an emergency service. We're still looking for Ron Mace, missing in the Ozark Trail Ridgeway. If you know where he is, would you call and let us know? Last we knew was he was walking on that trail. Maybe something happened that caused him to walk. The woman on Simcoe Street has 2 snowmobiles and is making trip to Miracle Marts and Duquette's Pharmacy. Now, if anybody needs anything within that area, I'll give you a number to call, and that lady will pick it up for you. And that'll stop another 3 or 4 vehicles on the road. Here's the number, 356-7605. And I'm just checking outside our studios, and I'm seeing the amount of traffic as cars come out. You are being irresponsible. Please get off the roads. 1 on CJRN. Welland, Crowland Emergencies, Fire Station Sling. The number is 735-7142. You got a... I beg your pardon, that was a little bit of coke coming back. You got a plumbing situation there, haven't you?
Oh, yes. We're in dire need. We've called plumbers and that, and they can't even come out here until after Wednesday. We have a hot water system in our home. It's a 3-zone system, and the upper level is frozen, and if we don't get some way of help or someone could call us, I'm afraid the pipes are going to burst.
What we're going to do, honey, is to get a plumber or an experienced person in the area to call us, and we'll all take advantage of his knowledge.
Terrific.
Okay, so I'll get someone to call who is a plumber, and I don't know who is, but they're listening to me. I'll ask him, I'll put him on the air, and we'll all take advantage of his knowledge. It's a heck of a good idea as pipes are starting to freeze all over the place. What's your specific problem?
It's the hot water heating system of the house. The system is frozen. The pipes are frozen. That's heating our house.
And you want to know how to unfreeze it?
Yeah, I can give you my number, John, even.
I think I'd better, because we'll also get plumbers to call you as well. So give me a plumbing... I'm just going to mark a whole pile of things here. Plumbing problems. We'll start a new page. Okay, plumbing problems. Go ahead.
It's 682-5928, the number, John.
682-5928.
Yeah, we've tried, but no one's at their plumbing places.
No, I would imagine. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep repeating that number to get someone over there to help you. And if the worst comes to the worst, we'll get a plumber to call me here, and we'll share our problems.
Oh, thanks ever so much.
Okay, honey.
Bye-bye.
Fine. How's Steve Marino?
Hi there, John. How are you?
We never met. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman, Steve Wheeler, is a member of our staff who's due to report today. But I think we got to know each other pretty good.
Yep, I guess so.
Okay.
I got some good news for you and some bad news. Which do you want first?
Start with the bad news so we end up with the good stuff.
Okay. The bad news is it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit down here, minus 12 degrees centigrade. We've got winds of 30 to 50 miles an hour in this area, but believe it or not, we had some sunshine.
Well.
Very long. I've been in touch with the OPP, and they've asked me to inform you that Highway 55 is open from Niagara-on-the-Lake to St. Catharines. Though, of course, all roads are only for emergency use. Regional Route 100 from the lakeshore via St. David's to Niagara Falls is also open. They have asked me to mention that the Queenston-Lewiston bridge is closed, and that the Burlington Strip is completely blocked. And there are some accidents down there.
Steve, we'd heard that the Peace Bridge was open. I'd heard it was open. I thought all borders was closed.
Well, they just said, tell everybody it is closed.
Okay,
period.
All right.
The Helping Hands of Niagara, Newark neighbors down here, have several snowmobiles for use to deliver emergency foods, to pick up prescriptions and deliver medical supplies if needed. Would you like telephone numbers, John, or would you want people to call me?
No, I think, how do you want to handle it? Because Niagara-on-the-Lake is going to have problems, the wind's picking up. I think maybe if just that one number of yours may jam your lineup.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That many problems we have down here, but if you want to keep repeating the number, we'd be glad to help.
Yeah, okay, then let it go.
Okay. We repeat again, the Helping Hands of Niagara has snowmobiles to deliver emergency foods and medical supplies and prescriptions. We have a number of snowmobiles here that are available to go to Niagara Falls or to any other area in the district as needed. And if people need the use of snowmobiles, give me a call and we'll get them out to you.
Steve, what's your number?
468 2990.
Thank you. We just might have to do that, Steve.
Steve, can you hold on a sec?
Stuff here?
Pardon?
Do you want the rest of the stuff here, or do you just want to get people to call me if they need things?
No, I think we'll leave your number and let them call you, and you can be our man at Niagara on the Lake.
Okay, sir.
Steve, can you hear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, just give me those highway openings again so I can jot them down.
That Regional 100 from the Lakeshore through St. David's to Niagara Falls is open.
Regional 100 from Lakeshore to
St. David's.
St. David's.
And through again to Niagara Falls is open.
All right.
And Highway 55 is open from Niagara on the Lake to St. Catharines.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve, thanks. Stay in touch.
We will.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
There's our number at Niagara on the Lake. If you need anything, 468-2990. I've got an emergency and I've got a mayor. And I'll take the emergency first. 2469. Emergency of what kind?
Hello, John. How are you?
Fine.
Listen, this is C. Beer from Stevensville. This has been brought to your attention before. I know it. I know you have a lot of American listeners. We are using Channel 4 down here for all kinds of emergencies. Over 50% of the rescue operations going on down here are being done by a CB. Right now, you're in a four-wheel drive vehicle with regional police in his car trying to get a lady to the hospital in Fort Erie who apparently is in need of an operation. If the American people that are listening to me now, please, we have exhausted ourselves from trying to call. We don't mean to be rude. We need this frequency desperately. This gentleman cannot get back to the base. They're hitting cars. He hit a Nova on number 3 highway, couldn't see it, ran right into the rear end of it. Now, we need this frequency desperately. Please understand. We do need it very, very badly. The man on Ozark Trail is trying to be located through this frequency. The woman in Crystal Beach was helped through this frequency. Please do stay off Channel 4. We need it, and we need it bad. So there you go, John. I can't stress it enough. We're in a heck of a situation down here. I can't see the road, which is 20 feet outside my front door, and we do need help.
Okay, I'll keep on repeating it. It's Channel 4 on the CB channel. You want everybody off it.
Yeah, and I can't, where's the word come from? We need it.
Okay, you've said it, and I'll keep repeating it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Now we go to Mayor John Weldon of Pelham. Good morning, good afternoon, Your Worship.
Oh, good afternoon.
John Michael here.
Yes.
And Pelham is how?
I've been listening to so many stories of heroism and unselfishness this morning that I can't give you too detailed report on other than to say that they're very bad throughout. That the snowplow crews are plugging along, but it's a very frustrating job to keep things going.
Do you need, to our knowledge, we've got some bad areas. Pelham hasn't come up too many times on our board just yet. Things, I guess, I mean, you're not running, let me see now, Port Colborne is running short of water. Fort Erie is running very short of gasoline. Is Pelham running short of any particular thing? We can start to...
No, I think the report is quite good from the standpoint of those matters. It's very important that our water supply is intact, and our electrical power is so far been faithful. Our concern are for people in outlying areas getting food to them, medicine. We've had 3 pregnant women who had to be rushed to a hospital in the last stages of their pregnancy. We had one man that was a prisoner in his car for 23 hours. There's a bus completely buried. It drifts of 28 feet deep. Snowmobilers are the heroes of the whole scene, from what I gather, and four-wheel drive vehicles. But the snowmobilers are the real heroes of this tragedy.
Mr. Weldon, thank you very much for that report. We've just found out 2 things we didn't know. I'm glad did that gentleman get out of that car okay without any frostbite?
Apparently he did. It's unbelievable. And the person that reported to me is going to check the backs to make sure they're all right. But
but it's a real story.
Oh, that's super.
We have one other thing I might mention. We had 120 children in Pelham Center School, prisoners in the school, and the supervisors kept them fed and attended to, and for 2 full days. We have people here that worked over that period without sleep. And I can tell you, we have some real heroes in this town.
And once this whole thing's over, Your Worship, I think we're going to start naming a few. Thank you very much.
We better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell him John Weldon. The time, of course, for thanks will be after the storm, and we'll get to that. Sherry Edlington needs her snowmobile repaired. If anybody knows how to fix this thing for this lady, would you call this number 295-4746? We're going to need all the snowmobiles we can get on the roads, and so we don't need any of them standing by. Memo to Bob Green. There's 300 pounds of oats and 50 pounds of cracked corn on the trunk of your car. Okay, Bob Green? All right. Not in, folks, on the trunk of your car. And as we said before, it's time to feed the budgies to the cats to the dogs to the Nah. Mr. Watson locate his son Rick. He's out in a 4-wheel driver. So Rick, call your dad. And I know where Rick is. I don't know where specifically, but Rick is probably plowing out just about everybody in sight. Rick is the sort of a guy that just has got a plow. He's in that kind of business. And if he sees a driveway plow, he doesn't ask. He walks in and plows it. He's that sort of a guy. So, Rick Watson, anyway, your dad's worried about you. Call him, tell him where you are. Mr. Johnson, Provincial Crane, Niagara Falls. Afternoon shift canceled for today. You may go in on the day shift tomorrow, but as of today, Provincial Crane, we've just heard, the afternoon shift is verboten. Woman on Simcoe Street has 2 snowmobiles making that trip to Miracle Mart and Duquette's Pharmacy. Anyone needing anything within the area, call 356-7605 before she takes off. We're looking for a plumber to call me at 356-CJRN or 382-3803 and 685-9900 so I can talk with you and people can listen in because their pipes are freezing and they want to know exactly how to handle the situation. If you're a plumber, would you call me so I can have a chat with you?
20 minutes before the hour of 2 on Operation Antifreeze, CJRN. By the way, this is hour 74. Hour 74 of Operation Antifreeze. As of 2 o'clock, we will be in Operation Antifreeze, hour 75. Let's run down the conditions again for you in case you've just tuned in and have missed them. In Niagara Falls, Thorold Town Line Road between Beaver Dam and Thorold Stone, cars are piling up, making one heck of a mess. Thorold Stone Road is closed. Niagara Stone Road is closed. That's Thorold Stone Road closed. Niagara Stone Road is closed. Regional 100 between Lakeshore to St. David's in the Falls is open. That's Regional 100 open. Highway 55 open, Niagara-on-the-Lake to St. Catharines. That's 55 open, Niagara-on-the-Lake to St. Catharines. More closures. The Parkway is closed. Please stay off the Parkway unless it's an emergency. If you must travel the Parkway, exit at Burning Springs and then take Portage. And I say if you must travel the Parkway, I mean an emergency only. Canada Coach is running from Niagara Falls to Hamilton, then on to Kitchener and Galt. From Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. It's not running, Canada Coach not running any buses between the Peninsula to Buffalo. No buses from the Peninsula to Buffalo whatsoever. Grey Coach is running from the Falls to Toronto. That's Grey Coach running from the Falls to Toronto. No public transportation in Niagara Falls at all. No schools open, no mail delivery. So don't call up asking about schools. St. Catharines, the north and west end, the hardest hit in the Garden City. City Hall is closing. Mayor Roy Adams asking everyone to get your cars off the streets. Take your cars off the streets and let the plows get through. It's either take your car off the street or end up getting a new paint job as well as a new fender job. The OPP advising 406 from St. Catharines to Welland is closed. The 406 is closed. Public transit running in the Garden City, but the Point Robinson bus is only going as far as Wyndon Village. No schools open in St. Catharines, no mail delivery. The QEW from the Garden City to Fort Erie is closed, shut down. From St. Catharines to Hamilton, the QEW is snow-covered, moderate to heavy drifting still reported, poor to nil visibility. Highway 20, visibility nil with heavy drifting. Highway 58 is closed. So if you live in St. Catharines, you are stranded. Number 8 is open. Number 3, Haldeman, Welland line to Dunville closed. Dunville to Norfolk line closed. 58 South, Welland to Port Colborne is closed. 140 Welland to Port Colborne closed. Thoroldstone Road, as I said, in Niagara Falls, closed, as is Niagara Stone Road. If you live in St. Catharines, you may or may not get your paper tonight. The Standard is leaving it up to the parents of the carriers whether or not they should deliver tonight. We ask that people do not let their children out to deliver any newspapers. Do not let your children out to deliver any newspapers. It would be totally irresponsible. Welland Port Colborne area, again, putting out a plea to Mayor Pitts of 356 NEWS. Mayor Pitts, call us 356 NEWS, or City Engineer from Welland, Art Lindell, will you please give us a call, 356 NEWS. City Hall in Welland has been closed down. All roads and highways blocked by heavy snow, visibility down to 0. Some homes in the Port Colborne area have drifted over. No buses, no schools, no mail delivery. In Port Colborne, they have an emergency. The water situation is down. There are no reserves. Conserve on water. Mayor Saraceno of Port Colborne asking that you conserve on water. There are no reserves. Fort Erie, Crystal Beach, Ridgeway. Roads are blocked. Stay in your homes. No buses, no schools, no mail. Stay inside. Stay off the roads. They have 5 gallons of, let's see, in Fort Erie, they have 5-gallon cans of fuel oil at the fire station number 2 on Jarvis Street. That is in Fort Erie, okay? 5-gallon cans of fuel oil at fire station number 2 on Jarvis Street. The Army will deliver it to those who can't get in to pick it up. The Army will deliver that 5-gallon cans of fuel oil at fire station number 2 on Jarvis Street to anybody who cannot pick it up. And if you're burning oil, please keep your thermostats down. If you're burning oil, get those thermostats down. The Army now headed for Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, and Stevensville. They have a load of groceries. They'll be dropped off at fire halls and distributed from there. So the Army now headed for Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, and Stevensville. A load of food. The food being dropped off at fire halls to be distributed from there. In Pelham, we just spoke with the mayor. Supplies there are okay. The water's okay. So far, hydro okay. They've had 3 emergency pregnancy runs, and they have 28-foot snowdrifts. And the mayor said one man was trapped in his car for 23 hours, managed to get out. Buffalo, again, we put out, repeat, if you're listening in the Buffalo area and you are a CBer, will you please stay off Channel 4. Stay off Channel 4. We have a number of emergency runs being made in the Fort Erie area, and CBers using Channel 4, they're clogging it up, and they're having a horrible time trying to keep that channel open. Emergencies only, please. We need Channel 4 in the province of Ontario around Fort Erie. Will you leave it alone? In Buffalo, National Guardsmen are being called out for 5 days of active duty. So in Buffalo, if you're in the National Guard, will you please call? You're being called out for 5 days of active duty. There were 8 people. They've died in the blizzard, 7 found in their cars. 1 man found dead in Fort Erie due to a heart attack. No transportation in and out of Buffalo International Airport. There are no flights in and out of Buffalo International until tomorrow morning. Toronto Airport is all go at the moment. Toronto Airport go if you have to catch a flight. Get to Toronto by bus. Do not try and drive there yourself. Updating the weather once again. For this afternoon, continuing very windy, cold, blowing and drifting whiteouts, squalls. That's very windy, cold, blowing and drifting, whiteouts and squalls, especially around the lakes. The same applying for this evening. After midnight, the winds may die down, but there will still be drifting. There is no end in sight to the cold wave. Temperatures will remain steady around minus 13 degrees Celsius, 8 above 0 Fahrenheit, but with the wind chill factor 40 to 50 below 0. We're in hour 74 of Operation Antifreeze on CJRN 710. 13 minutes now before the hour of 2.
Tamlin Drug Store and the Dominion Store Plaza must close at 3 o'clock, which is an hour and a quarter of an hour from now. So staff can get home. Just a little warning there. Tamlin Drug is calling it quits. So you better get there and get those things. By the way, while we're talking about that, all doctors' offices in the Greater Niagara area are closed. Only call in extreme emergency. Apparently the lines are just starting to back up like you couldn't believe. Bell Telephone are doing a tremendous job keeping things going, but the doctors' lines are apparently just backing all over the place. So only call if it's an extreme emergency. And if you can't get through to a doctor, you call us here at CJRN. We'll put you through somehow, and we'll get in somebody. The message, the woman on Kaylaw Road got food for her animals. Okay, and I've got the Lord Mayor of Niagara on the Lake on the line. So let's go Lord Mayor first. Mr. Lord Mayor Wilbur Dick, right?
That's right.
Ah, fine, thank you. I'm sorry we had to choose such a terrible day to do it. It's the first time I've spoken to you.
Well,
I have to first off congratulate you.
thank you very much.
The only one entitled of a Lord Mayor.
We're sitting in the warmest spot in the Niagara region.
Right now, yes, but I can remember when you were flooded out and you were the worst spot in the Niagara region. So it's, everyone gets their turn, and right now it's Lake Erie's turn, shall we say. But Niagara-on-the-Lake, so far, has been very lucky. I guess nothing is coming in from Lake Ontario. It's all coming in from Lake Erie.
That's correct.
But we've already got some snowmobile at Niagara-on-the-Lake, Your Worship, so I think maybe even if it does hit, and it'll probably hit with just high winds, it'll be all organized, too.
Our fire chief has quite a number of snowmobilers standing by, and we're ready for any emergency. Our road crews have the roads in good shape, and we have all our equipment working, and we think we have everything under control.
What might happen, I hope it doesn't, but what might happen is we might ask if some of the fellows might lend a hand in the areas which are right now almost disastrous. Port Clovis Beach, Ridgeway, Fort Erie is cut off. Right, they can't get anything in or anything out, and they're running out of gasoline, port out of water. And obviously those areas, no milk left whatsoever, and the children in that area don't have any milk. We're trucking it in with snowmobiles and also with National Guard, and the snowmobiles are starting to break down now, so could be there's a chance we'll call upon your snowmobilists to help us out a little.
Well, I'm sure the fellows, a number of them have already indicated their willingness to go, the snowmobilers, private fellas. The ones that are standing by are mostly belong to firemen, and like I say, the chief has them under alert. He's working very close with the regional EMO, and like I say, I guess we're the fortunate ones this time.
Well, as I said before, everyone takes their turn. I can remember when the peninsula was bailing you out with floods that were coming from Lake Ontario, and that was, 2-3 years ago, I think. So this time, sit tight. Thank you, Your Worship, and I hope we don't have to call upon you.
Well, we're ready to help anytime we can.
Thank you again, sir. Goodbye. Lord Mayor Wilbur Dick, Niagara-on-the-Lake. Plumber, we need you. How you doing?
Not bad, yourself?
Well, okay, but I'm starting to get those calls now, so I thought we better get some plumbing experts on the line.
Concerning that woman who called about the hot water heating system,
yeah,
there's nothing you can do. The only thing I can suggest is shut the feed off to her boiler, because it could create quite a few problems if she doesn't shut her feed off to her boiler. But there's nothing you can do about the whole system freezing.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. She can't do a thing about it.
Last time we were talking to people, they were, let me see now, some solid advice, which I think is worth repeating. For instance, if you shut the water off, make sure that place you shut it off at is well insulated.
Yes, well, it should be inside the house. Like I'm hoping they have a basement,
Yeah.
That it will be insulated in the basement, in the pipe. But if they don't shut the water off going to the boiler, it's going to expand and create, it might blow up the whole boiler when it thaws out.
What's the word of caution? Let's get some of that, what do they say, precautionary advice before the event rather than after the event. What do you suggest, Mr. Plummer?
Well, as far as hot water heating systems go, if the house is properly insulated, they should never freeze. But houses that aren't insulated, they will freeze. They will tend to freeze because it's only thin wall pipe that they're running through, like the newer style heating systems. But if they can keep their, water taps going in the basement, if they
just keep water coming through the pipes very slowly.
Right. Just a steady drip, they shouldn't have any problem with them freezing. If they're afraid that they're going to freeze, keep the water running. Steady drip.
So there's the first piece of advice. Open up your taps, just let them drip through.
Right.
Okay. No point to wrapping her.
No, something was mentioned about a well, how to keep a well from freezing. I'm not too experienced on wells, but I know a few people that are, and I can give them a call and call you back.
Yeah, okay, we'd like that. I'm sure that there's some wells free. We got water mains bursting all over the place.
Right. But the girl had mentioned that to me, but I can give you a call back on that.
Thank you very much, and if I get a problem, I guess you're listening, you'll call me, will you?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Towing list for cars and trucks abandoned on the QEW and exit ramps. Would you please call the Ontario Provincial Police? Don't call the regional police. Call OPP if you want to find out about your car. Now, I thought we'd all learned a lesson. Please stay up involved in a towing situation, and there's a few cars that have been absolutely wrecked because they're stuck The wind comes in, the snow piles over them. The snow plows are going through at about 25 miles an hour to get enough speed up to get through the snow, and they're hitting cars. Boom. That's it. It's an emergency, and there's no sorry, gee whiz, or golly. They're pulling the smashed cars off the side and dumping them. So don't go on the road, please. We'll be back in a moment. It's now 6 minutes to 2 on CJRN. If you need anything, that's the number to call in the Chippewa area of Niagara Falls. Now, CJRN has coordinated all snowmobile help now. Snowmobiles and four-wheel drives are available throughout the region. In fact, I want to let you know we got 30 machines on standby in Fenwick, Port Colborne, Pelham, all over the place. For any help anywhere, in any place, there's no reason why you cannot be gotten to. It may take half an hour, it may take an hour, it may take 2 hours, but we'll get to you. Call 356-6710. That's our switchboard number, 356-6710. And that'll get you a snowmobile or a four-wheel drive any place in the Niagara region or southern Ontario. Go right ahead.
John, I called you before, this lady with the plumbing problem.
Yes.
I'll tell you, the radio station is beautiful. We've had 5 plumbers call, and I have a plumber in the house right now.
682, whereabouts are you?
Well, we're just on the outskirts of Pelham.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You got one in the house?
A man just came in just now.
Isn't it? You know, hey, don't we live in a great place?
I'm thinking, I just can't tell you how great it is.
Well, we'll worry about that later. But thank you, and I'm glad we've done all we can for you anyway. You got a plumber there. That's the best man to have there.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Good luck, honey.
Bye-bye.
Well, they say keep trucking. 356-CJRN. As long as you got 4 wheels, keep trucking. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, can we help you?
I'd like to know if somebody would know how to unfreeze a frozen water line underneath the ground coming from...
Yeah, the guy's going to call us back. He was going to call us back and tell us how to unfreeze wells. He's a plumber, and he's going to get all the information and call. So if you'd like to stay tuned, I've got a man calling me back on that information.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, stay tuned. We've got the information coming up.
Thank you.
How much did he call us back? Things are freezing that have never frozen before in living memory. Pipes are bursting all over the place. 5, 6, 7. The last time I left the studios, there were 6 main water bursts in cities throughout the Niagara region. There has to be more now. Coming to the studios, there was one just at the bottom of the Panasonic which had burst, and they closed that part of the road up. So there has to be more than that. Never before have so many pipes burst. The regions, the municipalities, their budgets, this snowstorm is going to cost you a fortune. I can tell you that right off the bat. The budgets have just been thrown completely. There is no way you can budget for this kind of storm. The amount of work, overtime, the equipment, the costs, repairs, everything to keep the roads open, millions of dollars, untold millions of dollars. But that's a tab we'll have to pick up. At 73rd hour on CJRN, Operation Antifreeze. Go ahead, can we help you?
This is Noah Plummer calling.
This is where?
Plummer.
Gotcha. Now, a guy just called 5 minutes ago and said, how does he handle a well situation?
Well, I'm one of the guys that was out at that chicken farm yesterday.
Yeah.
And his well was frozen up. And what we did is we put a couple of sun lamps down in the well and just keep heat down there and cover the top of the well.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually it'll fire out. That's all you can do with it.
Okay, so all you do is find a hydro outlet and throw in some light bulbs.
Yeah, but keep them out of the water, eh? Clear the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a little tense.
Yeah, it'll be a little shocking. Okay, so light bulbs, actually, and many people don't understand, and it's kind of, you know, people in the business think it's nothing. But for a guy that's never been in that kind of business, you don't understand, just putting a plain old-fashioned light bulb somewhere generates heat.
That's right, especially these flood lamps. You just let it hang down in the well and cover the top of the well. Seal it off good, like we sealed this guy's well off with styrofoam and put weights on it. And within an hour, it was already starting to melt the ice in there. See, because the line, instead of coming in below the water level, was coming in above the water level and through the ice, and that's where it froze up.
The gentleman said, I guess you can do nothing about a pipe that's frozen just below the ground, can you? Unless you dig it up.
Well, if it's a metal pipe, you can usually get a welding machine and hook it up. There's people that do that with welding machines. You run electric current through them and it thaws them out. Plastic pipe, you can forget it till spring.
What do you, is there anything you can put in water? Like, you know, supposing you throw some Epsom salts in some water, does that help it go through?
Well, not too much. Not too much. There's too much of a volume of water, and then the pipe is too small for the Epsom salt to get up into it, see?
Right? So that's out. How about alcohol? I heard that might help.
Well, you're working with potable water. Like you could put, I hate to say this, but gasoline antifreeze, but you'd have to know how to handle it so it doesn't get into your system. You could get poison with it, eh?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. So the best thing that you can think of is just to get hold of some sun lamps or some even plain light bulbs, naked light bulbs, hang them in, don't let them touch the water because you're going to get a shock, and insulate it a little bit and put the cover back on, and in time it'll melt.
Yeah, like try to put them over top of the pipe.
Thank you, Mr. Plummer. Appreciate it.
Okay?
Okay. There's the word for those people whose lines are thing. I got an emergency here. You want to... Okay? 2576. 2576. Okay, hi.
Hello, John.
Yes,
This is Wales and Antifreeze
okay.
on the lake.
All right, John.
We have an emergency here. We have 4 families. One family of 4, one family of 6, and one family of 3. All without food. The family of 3 urgently need food, and the Helping Hands of Niagara have no way to supply it because they don't have any. These people are, Vince's welfare checks have not arrived, and what we're looking for is donations of food. If these people would like to call me at 46890, we will arrange to have the food picked up and delivered to the needy people. We also have a need for one family which is completely without heat. Now that's a family of 7, 5 children and 2 adults. So anybody who can help us, it would be...
You've run out of stove, fuel, oil.
Yeah, it's not furnace oil, it's a stove oil, a different type of oil. I'm familiar with what it is, but maybe somebody else is.
Yeah. All right. And I better get that number again from you, Steve.
68990.
Gotcha. Keep in touch.
Okay.
Thank you. First emergency has just arisen from Niagara-on-the-Lake as the storm continues to blow through the Niagara region. I'll repeat the Niagara-on-the-Lake emergency number. It's actually CJRN's employee's number, I'll tell you the truth. 468-2990. But any port in a storm, huh? 468-2990 as CJRN's Operation Antifreeze in its 75th hour continues.
Operation Antifreeze on CJRN 710. The time, 3.5 minutes after the hour of 2. One thing before we get into our Operation Antifreeze news, we have news from Aspen, Colorado, John, that I think everybody will be interested in. Ministry of Transportation and Communications now reports heavy drifting. We'll give you a rundown of roads throughout the southern Ontario region for you, as you are listing in other areas other than the peninsula. In the Chatham, London, Windsor, Stratford, Lake Huron regions, visibility in those regions ranges from fair to 0. Highways in southern Ontario generally bear with snow-covered and icy sections. That's generally. In the Huntsville-Muskoka region, highways snow-covered due to heavy snow drifting. Visibility in the southern Georgian Bay area, poor to 0 due to heavy snow squalls. Major highways, 400, bear with snow-covered center bare and icy sections. However, I'm sure around the Barrie area with the wind, several areas of 400, visibility will be down to 0. The 401, bare with snow-covered and icy sections. Highway 40, these are closures. Highway 40, Chatham to Wallaceburg, closed. Highway 59 from 24 to Long Point, closed. 73 from Highway 3, Aylmer to Highway 401, closed. Interchanges 3 from Jarvis. 56 to Elfrida. The QEW closed from St. Catharines easterly. 406, the eastern end, down. Highway 59, Langton to Long Point, closed. Highways 21, 6, 27, 9, 4, 58, 55, now open between Niagara-on-the-Lake and St. Catharines. 20 and 140 are closed. Highway 51 is blocked. The following highways have single-lane sections, 19 north and south, 4 Lambeth to St. Thomas, 59 north, 30 Brighton north to Havelock, highways 12 and 69 single lane. The following highways are doubtful, 10 and 26. The international bridges, the Ivy Lee Johnson, are closed to southbound traffic due to closing of 81 in New York State. Many highways in the Stratford Lake Huron region are blocked. So that'll give you an idea of just how extensive this storm has been. Regional 100, Lakeshore to St. David's and Niagara Falls is open, according to our man Steve Wheeler. Highway 55 open to Niagara-on-the-Lake to St. Catharines, as I said. Stay off Niagara Falls, Thorold Town Line between Beaver Dams and Thorold Stone. Cars piling up, one heck of a mess reported. Thorold Stone Road is closed. Niagara Stone is closed. In St. Catharines, all streets in the city are passable, with the exception of the QEW and 406. Both are closed. Fort Erie, Welland, Port Colborne, Ridgeway, all municipalities in Niagara South, most are closed. Most roads closed, and those that are open are in very bad shape. Stay off. All roads, stay off. Heavy drifting in the falls reported on Morris and Montrose, Thoroldstone, Dorchester, Swayze, you name it. Parks police say the parkway is closed down unless it's an emergency. If you must travel, exit at Burning Springs, then take Portage. Canada Coach now has suspended service. Canada Coach now has suspended service. St. Catharines to Niagara Falls and vice versa. Okay, so that's St. Catharines to Niagara Falls to St. Catharines, Canada Coach, yet. Not running Fort Erie to Buffalo buses. Grey Coach or Canada Coach is not running to Fort Erie or Buffalo. Grey Coach says it's still running from Niagara Falls to Toronto. It says it's still going. However, we will try and update that situation. Obviously, if it's to the falls and the falls to St. Catharines, we may not have Grey Coach going out of the falls. In St. Catharines, the north and west end are the hardest hit. The City Hall has closed. Mayor Roy Adams is asking, just love it. Mayor Roy Adams is asking everyone to please get your cars off the streets. Get your cars off the streets to let the snow plows through. If you do not get those cars off the streets, you may end up in the same situation that everybody else has done that left their cars abandoned. You may, in the air, you may end up scrapes and nicks along your vehicle. Simmer down, John. The OPP advising Highway 4... I'm all right, it's you. Sorry, I lost my hand. Highway 406 from St. Catharines to Welland is closed. The 406 is closed. Public transit is running in the Garden City, but the Point Robinson bus is only going as far as Wyndon Village. Okay, the QEW from the Garden City to Fort Erie closed. From St. Catharines to Hamilton, the QEW snow covered due to moderate to heavy drifting, causing poor to nil visibility. Highway 20, visibility nil, heavy drifting. Highway 58 is closed. If you live in the St. Catharines area, do not venture out unless it's an emergency. Other highway conditions, number 8 is open, but just passable. Number 3, Haldeman Welland line to Dunnville is closed. Dunnville to Norfolk line is closed. 58 South, Welland to Port Colborne, closed. 140, Welland to Port Colborne, closed. Thorold Stone Road in Niagara Falls, closed, as is Niagara Stone Road. If you live in St. Catharines, we mentioned that the last time I was on, you may or may not get your paper tonight. The Standard leaving it up to parents of the carriers whether or not they should deliver. Welland, all downtown streets are closed. Police are warning that you do not go downtown. City Hall is closed, and we're asking Mayor Pitts to please give us a call from Welland to let us know the situation officially. Everything is shut down, as far as we know, in the Rose City. Welland County General Hospital reports no major problems at the moment, as do other hospitals throughout the peninsula. We will have an updater around 4 as the shift change goes. We may have problems getting some nurses and nurses' aides and other people into the hospitals, so we'll fill you in on that. Again, we ask Mayor Pitts or Art Lindell from Welland to please give us a call, 356-6397, and we'd like to talk to you on the air. Welland, Port Colborne area, as we said, City Hall is closed. Visibility on all roads, 0 most of the time due to the winds and drifting. Highways are blocked by heavy snow. Some homes have been virtually blown right over by snowdrifts, and repeating again, one snowmobiler I heard, I think, talked to you or Rick Jenneret, went right over the top of somebody's roof. Okay, no buses. Port Colborne, Welland, Fort Erie, no buses, no schools, no mail delivery. Port Colborne has an emergency situation. The water supply there is critical. Conserve on your water. There are no reserves. In Port Colborne, Mayor Saraceno asking that you conserve on water. There are no reserves. Fort Erie, Crystal Beach, Ridgeway. Roads are blocked. Roads are blocked. Closed down. Stay in your home. Stay off the road. Stay inside. Niagara-on-the-Lake, Lord Mayor Wilbur Dick telling us that snowmobiles are standing by. The roads are in good shape. Everything under control. We do have a couple of emergency situations. If you'd like to call 2990, 468-2990. Get in touch with Steve Witter from the station, and he will fill you in. Apparently, they have a food to see there. Okay, fire hydrants throughout the peninsula. Will you please keep them open? Fire hydrants. If you have a fire hydrant outside of your, will you please take a shovel, get out there and open it up? We do not want a tragedy. In Pelham, supplies are okay. The water okay so far. Hydro, pretty good. We had 3 emergency pregnancy runs in Pelham. The women got to deliver their babies on time. 28-foot snowdrifts reported. One man trapped for 23 hours. He did manage to get out. Another note from Fort Erie. They have 5-gallon cans of fuel oil at fire station number 2. That's cans of fuel oil at fire station number 2 on Jarvis Street. The Army will come through, deliver it to those who cannot pick it up. If you're burning oil, please keep your thermostats down. The Army now headed for Crystal Beach. They should be there. Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, and Stevensville with a load of groceries. They'll be at the fire halls and distributed from there. This is garbage day in most parts of the peninsula. Do not put your garbage out by the road. A plow has hit some garbage by the road, and it's all over the place. So if you're in your neighborhood and you see neighbors putting out garbage, tell them to take it back in, put a spray can out, and keep your odor down. Do whatever you have. Put a rose on top of it. But don't put your garbage out. This is pickup day, but not a pickup day. Again, we'd like to tell the people who are listening that the National Guardsmen in Buffalo, if you are in the National Guard, you are wanted for 5 days of active duty. No flights in and out of Toronto International, or no flights in and out of Buffalo International, not till tomorrow at least. Toronto International Airport is go. Updating the weather once again very briefly for you. Windy and cold, blowing and drifting in whiteouts. Squalls around the lakes. The ticket outflying for this evening. No end in sight to the cold wave. Temperatures today and tonight remaining fairly steady around minus 13 Celsius, 8 above 0 Fahrenheit. The winds continuing to make it feel like it's 40 to 50 below zero. We have 13 minutes after the hour of 2 in hour 75 of Operation Antifreeze, CJRN 710.
I got the hiccups, but I've also got Mayor Alan Pitts. Good morning, Your Worship. Good afternoon, Your Worship. Sorry.
Can you hold on for a moment? Mayor Pitts is on with the regional government for a moment.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, maybe a moment.
Okay, I'll hold on. Don't worry, I've got other things I can do. Yes, hello? Hello? Yes, Alan, are you there?
Yes, I am. Is this John Michael?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry we have to speak under such bad conditions.
Yes, I'm just speaking with the regional engineer, Mr. Conate.
And can I interrupt that conversation and say how are things?
We're finished now.
Oh, okay. All right. Alan, you're snowed in. We understand that you might be running short of water, too?
Well, in Welland, we don't have a crisis situation with water and with power. We have some water breaks. There are about 8 water breaks. But in talking with the superintendent of the water department, he's isolating them, and except for isolated conditions, we are able to handle the situation as far as water and power is concerned, asking all of our people to use good common sense. We don't want to alarm them to the point, though, that if someone is in a home and they need the power to keep the furnace going, this sort of thing, that they should understand that there is power here. Now, we do have the Army has come in to help us. We have 47 personnel from the Army. They're under the direction of Major Smythe and Major Boyle. They're working in close conjunction with the regional police department, and Chief Harris, of course, is helping us, and we're under the direction here of Inspector Boudelier and Superintendent Lee. All of our departments are pulling together. We have an emergency set up. It's been coordinated very well under our Fire Chief Wilson. The emergency numbers are 44512. A great host of CB operators and snowmobile operators and volunteer fire department, and we've been trying to look after our real trouble spots. But the cars, the individual cars have been ordered off the road by the Army and by the police department. 406 sealed off as far as individual cars are concerned, and only emergency units and essential services are allowed through. This is extremely important because the experience has been that there's an accident and then everything just simply stops. We have had intersections with as many as from 150, and this is no exaggeration, 150 to 300 cars and trucks crossways, and they've spent hours and days, and of course in some cases it still isn't cleared up.
Well, it's just amazing, and we can't get over it, and we've kind of lost our voices trying to tell people why people still insist on going out in cars is just the depths of their responsibility.
Well, we're to this point here. I think that you've been doing a good job for us, and I've been tuned to, we've been keeping in constant contact with C. Howell, And I think that we've got to the point now where most of the people are staying off the road. For the people who are having to drive for essential services and emergency services, we're asking them to keep us. We have a whole host of volunteers of people on skidoos, and the visibility just simply comes up nil. You drive along a road, and all of a sudden you hit the blowing snow, and you can see nothing. And we don't want anybody to be running into somebody that's going out on an emergency call with insulin or helping somebody taking food out or doing a real mission on a skidoo, because they're moving around pretty quickly, and of course they have face masks on too, and it's very difficult for them. And as you know, with a skidoo, it's pretty hard to turn or stop turn sharply or stop quickly. So this is what we're asking, and not only asking, but we're to the point here now in Welland where the regional police department and the Army are demanding that people stay off the road.
Right on.
Not a request anymore. It's now a demand.
Right. Yesterday I was saying the same. I couldn't understand why it wasn't law. I really can't understand why somebody didn't. Well, I guess it has to come in.
The point where we have marked the law. It isn't that. It's that the point is that it's a demand now, and it's being enforced, and people are just not allowed to be out on the streets.
Alan, we'll dig ourselves out. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Alan Pitts, the mayor, Welland, where now the patience is running thin. The patience is running. I'm looking outside studio window here, and I'm seeing cars go back and forth, and you can't then run an emergency. You're back and forth, and if you're listening to me now, you have no idea how angry it's making people just because you've got to go out and do something somewhere or what. I don't know what it is, but now the patience is worn thin enough, and in Welland, you are being hauled off the road. That's it. The Army is getting you off and the police are pulling you over. So if in Welland you still insist on driving, you now do so by being, well, now you're going to be pulled over to the side and your car's going to be left there, and then you're going to have to finish up paying a towing bill. I got a whole pile of messages. Let's get through them as we continue with CJRN's Operation Antifreeze. We're going into our 75th hour at 19 past 2. The weather has not improved and is not expected to do so until, if we're lucky, sometime tonight. Derby Road, red and white, transportation to get in store. All right, they've got plenty of bread and milk, but they need to get there. And this is Mr. Servos of Bethune and Ridgeway. If you'd like to call the number, maybe get into the store, you can open it up, 894-3243. I'll have to go through that one again. Johnny Rossetti, go over to Clark's Fina, Thorlstone Road and Dorchester, as they need parts for their broken snowmobile. Please call Ron at the Fina. Johnny Rossetti, get that message there. A message for people whose houses are buried. The furnaces are using up oxygen. Remember that. So for those of you, especially around the Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, Port Colborne, Welland area, those of you in the outlying districts, if your houses are buried, please make sure that you get some air into the homes or you will be suffocated. Derby, red and white, in Fort Erie, is willing to open if someone can get the manager into the store. If you'd like to call Dave at 894-3243, he'll open the store up and give you some food. The corner store at Dorchester and O'Neill and the Dorchester Food Market expect a load of bread shortly, and they have bread and they have milk. Crystal Beach, by the way, has run out of milk. So if you're heading toward Crystal Beach on a snowmobile mission of some kind, you might just offhand take milk with you, because Crystal Beach has run out of milk. Kathy Murray, by the way, of Dominion Road in Fort Erie, went out, quote, for a walk. Please call your father. The number is 894-3512. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Kathy Murray. Doug Reese at Town and Country Shell, 354-9722. Right there's a broken 1972 Rupp Nitro snowmobile. It needs a pair of sliders and runners and a recoil spring for the starter. These snowmobilers are running their machines into the ground, and the repairs are starting to come up now. We have a fund for repairs. We have money coming in. We have a fund for repairs. If you bust your snowmobile, and we're not asking any questions. Sure, there's going to be one or two people take advantage of the situation. We're not asking any questions. If you've got a snowmobile and you're in the emergency setup, then you've got a fund for repairs. Don't think about the money aspect. Get it repaired, get that snowmobile back on the road so that we can get you going to people who need food, light, heat, help. The people shoveling driveways, put snow back on the road. It's making it dangerous for drivers, I've got here. So when you're shoveling out your driveways, don't throw it in the road. Derby Red and White need transportation to open store. Got that one through. If you'd like to call 894-3243, the manager will go and open the store. Now, towing list for cars and trucks abandoned on the QEW and exit ramps. Don't call the regional police. Call OPP, and they'll get you through. If anyone knows the whereabouts of Kathy Jean Murphy, please call 894-3518.
John, if I can just add a point about ventilating your house in case of asphyxiation through gas. If for some reason your house is so buried you can't get out your windows or your doors, if you can possibly do it from the inside, there is one way you can do it. If you can disconnect the ventilation pipe to your toilet system. There is a pipe on the roof, a pipe about 3 inches around for ventilating the toilets. If you can disconnect that from the sewer system, then that should ventilate at least part of the house if you can't get out at all.
Isn't it amazing what our newsmen know? I tell you, toilet system. You come up with that? Way to go.
All by myself.
But
that's a good point. If you can't get outside, try that.
We joke a little bit here and there because you can't be serious too much. I think we're all going to go down in the ground here if you get serious all that much. But remember, if your house, and there are houses that are snowed over. Let me see now. One thing I do want to keep reminding you, if you're a snowmobile driver, Hydro have called us. Hydro have said that some of their outlying transmitter stations are now snowed under. Those 6-foot, 7-foot high fences are now snowed under with drifts. And if you're driving in the outskirts somewhere, and you're taking a snowmobile there, and you come into a whiteout, and you go straight over that fence, you're going to go smashing into one of those transmitter stations. I'm sorry, I'm in the radio too long. Transformer stations. If you do, you're going to be a statistic on Bill Shepard's newscast tomorrow. So just, please be very careful about that. Please, you're going to kill yourself if you drive one of those snowmobiles into the transformer stations. The fences have now been snowed over. We've been talking to snowmobilers in the Ridgeway area, Crystal Beach, who have literally snowmobiled over houses, and they didn't realize it until they hit a chimney in a whiteout. They hit a chimney and realized that they'd gone over a 2-story house which has been snowed in. Cars now are just 2 a penny snowed under. We don't know where they are. There must be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Fort Erie Town is getting flooded with calls from people wanting to help people by offering money. They ask you to send a check to the treasurer, Town of Fort Erie, or call 871-4016. If you could call CJRN at 356-6710 if you wish to donate any cash or money or checks, it would be welcome. We're putting it into the gas tanks of snowmobilers. We're putting into the repairs that they're doing to their vehicles. We're putting into the gas tanks of 4-wheel drive cars and anybody that's in this emergency setup. If you're in Niagara-on-the-Lake, take note of this number, 468-2990. That number will put you in touch with the whole operation if you need anything. Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is now getting buffeted by the winds, 468-2990. 225, CJRN's Operation Antifreeze continues.
Hour 75 of Operation Antifreeze on CJRN 710. The entire region of the peninsula remaining snowbound. The entire region still under snow. Police are keeping their patrol cars off the road unless they're absolutely needed. Again, they're advising motorists. They're not asking anymore. They're telling you, leave your cars at home. Much of the southwestern part of the province also remains at a virtual standstill because of the high winds and severe drifting and snow conditions and so poor visibility. Militia members of the Welland and Lincoln County regiments and snowmobile owners have been called in, and they're reporting to emergency headquarters throughout the peninsula, and they will be given rescue operations, where to go and how to get there. Updating Niagara Falls again, the Thorold Town line between Beaver Dams and Thoroldstone, cars were piled up there earlier. They're trying to clean it up. It was one heck of a mess out there. So that's Thorold Town line between Beaver Dams and Thoroldstone. Stay away from that area. Highway 55. Highway 55 is open. That's Niagara Stone Road, which is the same as Highway 55. It is now open. Ontario Provincial Police got a cruiser through there. They say it's just passable but open. Okay, Canada Coach has now suspended service from St. Catharines to Niagara Falls and Niagara Falls to St. Catharines. Canada Coach not operating between St. Catharines to Niagara Falls to St. Catharines. However, it probably is running buses between St. Catharines to Kitchener, Galt, and Hamilton. So Canada Coach operating between Kitchener, or from St. Catharines to Kitchener, Galt, and Hamilton. Grey Coach says it is running buses from Niagara Falls to Toronto. Grey Coach running from Niagara Falls to Toronto. There is no public transit whatsoever in Niagara Falls. No public transit in Niagara Falls. In St. Catharines itself, Mayor Roy Adams has put out a plea to everyone to get your cars off the street. We don't know how you're going to do it, but do it. Please remove your vehicles from the streets to let the snowplows through and clean up operations there. The OPP advising 406 from St. Catharines to Welland is closed. The 406 is closed down. Public transit is running in the Garden City, but the Point Robinson bus is only going as far as Wyndham Village. The Point Robinson bus only going as far as Wyndham Village. No schools open. The QEW from the Garden City to Fort Erie is closed tight. The Fort Erie Garden City run on the QEW closed down. From St. Catharines to Hamilton, the QEW is snow-covered, moderate to heavy drifting, poor to nil visibility. Highway 406, stay off again. Highway 20, visibility, nil, heavy drifting. Highway 58 is closed. Other major highway conditions, number 8 is open, it's passable, just. Number 3, Haldeman Welland line to Dunnville closed. Dunnville to Norfolk line closed. 58 South, Welland to Port Colborne closed. 140, Welland to Port Colborne closed. If you live in St. Catharines, don't worry about your paper tonight. You may or may not get it, depending on whether parents let their children out in these disastrous conditions. In Welland, all downtown streets are closed. Police are warning, and the militia asking you, or not asking you anymore, they're warning and telling you not to go downtown. Stay off the streets. So far, power supplies and water supplies are good. We just talked to Mayor Pitts, and he says everything is okay there. He has 47 Army personnel working, along with the Regional Police Department and EMO, and they're advising motorists and other people to stay in their homes unless it is an absolute emergency. Everything shut down in downtown Welland. Welland County General Hospital reporting no major problems at the moment. City Hall, as I said, closed down. Most streets, visibility is zero because of the blowing snow. Some homes in the Port Colborne area drifted over. The two-story homes drifted over when snowmobiler plowing into a chimney in a whiteout. No buses, no schools. Port Colborne, we have a state of emergency concerning water. Conserve your water supplies. There are no reserves in Port Colborne. Mayor Saraceno putting out that plea. Conserve your water. There are no reserves. Fort Erie, Crystal Beach, Ridgeway, Wainfleet, roads are blocked. Stay in your homes. Roads are virtually impassable. Stay in your homes. Stay inside. Niagara-on-the-Lake, Mayor Wilbur Dick saying snowmobilers are standing by. The roads are in good shape so far. However, the winds are picking up there. We did have an emergency number for you. Steve Witter from CJRN in Niagara-on-the-Lake saying that emergency only. Will you please call 468-2990? 468-2990. In Fort Erie, another note, they have 5-gallon cans of fuel oil at Fire Station number 2. That is on Jarvis Street. Fire Station number 2 on Jarvis Street. The Army will deliver it to those who cannot pick it up. And if you're burning oil, please keep your thermostats down. If you're burning oil, please keep those thermostats down. The Army headed for Crystal Beach earlier. Along with Ridgeway and Stevensville, they had a load of groceries, dropped them off at fire halls, and if you need food, they'll be distributed from there. Another reminder, Garbage Day in the Peninsula. Do not put out your garbage. Do not put out your garbage. In Buffalo, New York, the situation there is extremely critical. A state of emergency still existing. National Guardsmen now being called out for 5 days of active duty. The National Guardsmen in the Queen City being called out for 5 days of active duty. No flights at Buffalo International till tomorrow morning. Buffalo International, touch shite. Or, how do you say that? Touch shite.
Shut tight.
Would you say shut tight?
Bill, can I add a point here? We had a call from a plumber, and rightly so, and I'm glad he called us to about that announcement about disconnecting your sewer pipe. It's best right now that you do not do that. So really forget what we said before, because apparently if you break the pipe, the gases from the sewer and your septic tanks could come up inside, and perhaps that'll be poisonous, and if you light a match, you could have an explosion. So I guess forget that idea about the sewer pipe for now, and just try to get the house ventilated as best you can.
Right, good point, Eric. Okay, the weather forecast as it stands now. We have windy and cold, blowing, drifting, whiteouts, squalls around the lakes, particularly Lake Erie. So that's continuing very windy and cold, blowing and drifting and whiteouts, along with squalls, particularly around Lake Erie. The same applying for this evening. No end in sight to the cold wave. Temperatures today and tonight will hold fairly steady around minus 13 degrees Celsius, 8 above 0 Fahrenheit, with the wind chill factor 40 to 50 below zero. That's 40 to 50 below zero. 28 minutes before the hour of 3, hour 75, as Operation Antifreeze continues on CJRN.
Okay, how did we go, Steve, in Niagara Lake with that plea for food?
Absolutely wonderful, John.
Yeah.
The response was overwhelming, and I think we owe a great big thank you to everybody who called in. We think now we've probably got enough food for 10 families, not 4, and enough stove oil to probably heat the whole town. I don't know, it's just incredible. Just amazing how people can get together when this kind of crisis hits. And another wonderful offer has just come through from a Mrs. Ida Smith, and she says that she can put up, say 10, 15, 18 people if they happen to be stuck in Niagara Falls overnight. And would you like me to give you the phone number for Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Mrs. Ida Smith.
Nobody could be finer but Ida.
She lives at 4635 Baldwin Avenue, and her telephone number is 356-2956. That's 356-2956. She has plenty of food, plenty of blankets, lots of warmth, and anybody who's trapped in Niagara Falls overnight, give her a call. She'd be glad to hear from you.
Okay, Steve, we're still keeping your number going. If you got something else, well, have you got enough, or do you want me to repeat that number again?
Well, people are glad to hear it, I hope.
Okay, fine.
Phone's busy, and
all right.
We're happy to help.
Super. Okay, Steve Reno.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
468-2990, Niagara on the Lake number, for any help that can be put into this storm. The woman from 40 who needed drugs at Zeller's, that was about an hour ago. Okay, everything fine. We got the people listening to us from Zeller's. They got in touch with somebody else, and the woman got her drugs. So we filed that in the accomplishment. Chippewa Fire Hall standing by with snowmobilers should you need them. 295-4398. And that's the beginning. The edge of Chippewa is the beginning, shall we say, as far as Niagara Falls is concerned, out toward that way is where the problem starts. Going out Willoughby Drive up towards Sodom, Kayla, then you start getting a forget it, dig in. Any donations for Operation Antifreeze, call 356-6710 or mail your contributions to Box 710, Operation Antifreeze. Would you do that? Thank you very much. So many people want to join in but can't physically do it. And I'm talking people from Hamilton, Toronto, and all other spots and all other places that are listening to the show. We have so many calls from people who say, we can't believe what's happening. Believe it, folks. Believe it. Also might mention check it out this evening. This is no time to be shy. I guess CBC and CTV have both been down filming situations, so you'll be able to check it out this evening at 6:30 on the news. I believe that's the time it goes on. 25 minutes to 3 on CJRN. Snowmobile parts are available in Jordan Harbor at Campbell Boats, 562-5901. Many people are breaking down. Their snowmobiles are finally burning out. And that's where we need some of that money so that we can replace it, and also for gasoline to keep the snowmobiles going. We got parts available at Jordan Harbor at Campbell Boats, 562-5901. If you need groceries to be delivered in Thorold, call 227-3482. Let's get back into some openings and closings here. Top Grain Leather has free coffee at Bridge and Stanley. Rainbow Dairies has fresh bread and milk just in. Avondale on Morrison Street has bread and milk until 9 o'clock this evening. Foster's Service Station by the Chippewa Legion is open for emergencies only. Fraser's Grocery on St. Clair till 7 o'clock. C&C Yachts, originally open, is canceling the afternoon shift. Thank goodness for that. I remember when they first came in and they told me to read the fact it was open. The first thought that goes through my mind, to be quite candid, is if anyone wants to buy a yacht today, forget it. Anyway, it seems to me that unless there's no point putting people on the roads, and if you have to have your shift in, okay, I guess so. But if you don't have to, there's no point putting people on the roads and creating a worse situation than already is. So I'm glad to see that C&C Yachts have finally canceled the afternoon shift. If you need a shoveler, I've got a number here, 354-8811. If you need groceries in the Ascot Woods area, call 356-9697. Someone there with a four-wheeler will deliver. If you're out of water, you've got 5 gallons of fresh water in your toilet tank. How about that for a suggestion? We know that Port Colborne is getting short of water, and they know that there are many, many, many water mains which are suddenly and have broken and burst and spread water all over the place. So we've been advising people in situations whereby we get to know there's a shortage to fill up your bathtubs, but some people are still caught without water. And a suggestion here, which has just come into me, was that if you are out of water, remember you've got 5 gallons of fresh water in your toilet tank. So there's a reservoir you probably didn't even know you had. See here that Mrs. Barnhart got her medication, which is super. Let's go to the telephones if we can be of some help to you.
Is this John?
Yes, it is.
John, I'm calling for my brother. He has a van and he's a CBer, but he can't call out. And he is going out to Hodgson Street now. And if anybody needs any rides in from out around that district, he would be glad to pick them up. And if anyone needs any assistance tonight, he'd be glad to help them out. I think this is Connie.
Okay, can I call you?
Yes, 356-6190.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you very much.
John.
Yeah?
Pardon me, 93.
Oh, repeat the number again.
356-6193.
Okay, got it.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
And we'd be glad to be of any assistance.
Thank you very much.
Quite welcome.
We suggest that you stand by your radio with a pencil and a piece of paper, and anything that pertains to you or where you might be able to fit in, just take the phone number down. Mrs. Cudney and Mr. Bigger got their medication. The snowmobilers or whoever it is got through. Thank you. People with fire hydrants on your property, so people who need to clear them can locate them. This message in our Garden City. It's starting to blow up now. All things are, of course, canceled. A person at 688-2247 will drive pensioners to the post office to pick up checks in St. Catharines. We got that one at about 10 minutes ago. The Willoughby Fire Department is open for business. We see that Kentucky Fried Chicken in Fort Erie is open till 7 o'clock, and My Song Restaurant in Fort Erie open till 9. Fort Erie hard hit. Baby food is available to anyone in the Oak Hill, Forest, and Ridgeway area. Simply ask and call 894-4630 and ask for food or water. That's all you have to do. 894-4630, and that's for anyone in Oak Hill, Forest, and Ridgeway area. Baby food available. John's Gas Bar in Ridgeway on Gorham Road will remain open until 6 o'clock this evening. Crestway Motors open for snowmobile repairs. M&J Drive-In is also open. Fort Erie is snowed in, and I mean like a fort. There's no way in, there's no way out. The last we heard, they had closed the Queenston Bridge, and I had understood that they had closed all bridges across to the United States. Although I heard CJRN's news tell me, and I'm taking that word for gospel, that Fort Erie, the Peace Bridge, was open again. I haven't heard anything other than that, but Tom Rowe had said it was open. But the first initial reaction was, of course, if the bridge is closed, there is no way in, no way out for anybody in Fort Erie. All highways are closed going into Fort Erie, and so Fort Erie is starting to run low. There are 1 or 2 places that are already running out of gasoline. Once gasoline starts falling low, of course, you can't get those snowmobiles and emergency vehicles regassed. So we're asking you, for other reasons than simply common sense, stay off the roads. You're using up needless gasoline. Lewis Taxi Service is open for emergencies in the Fort Erie area. Telephone 871-4421. Volunteer nurses handling emergencies only. In Fort Erie, 871-5888. I'll repeat that, 871-5888. We've had a couple of pregnant ladies who have had their babies in the snowstorm in Fort Erie. And that, I guess you can say, is an emergency. They didn't have the baby in the snowstorm. They got to hospital okay, thanks to people who are risking a lot. For instance, snowmobiles are now starting to get out there, and they're finding so many whiteouts with the winds of 50 miles an hour that they can come along, and if your car is stuck somewhere, they can go into you. Now, a snowmobiler may not survive one of those crashes. A car, you're going to finish up with a dented hood. A snowmobiler is going to go flying. Please, get off the highways. We've heard from Alan Pitts of Welland that they've now lost patience in the Rose City, and the Army and the police are pulling off drivers. They're pulling you off, and they're impounding your cars. So now they got to the stage of impatience in Welland. Don't drive unless you've got to. Willoughby Fire Department, I've already gone that, and I got to go to line 382.
Hallelujah, happy day, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be the day of our deaths after all. We finally got our emergency radio going. Sydney found it in the storage closet. It's one of those ones that you wind up and anyway, got the radio going, and turns out there's been a bit of a break in the storm, and they're sending out some emergency snowplows to rescue people. So got the word out to them, and they should be sending one down our street momentarily.
Hey, isn't this the same radio that Sydney was using for his ghost hunting a while back?
Yeah, I believe so. It's dead, Sydney. You wanna wind it up again?
All right, give me that thing. There we go. You know, fellas, not to, put the fear of the Almighty in the air, but my suspicion is we may have accidentally radioed a ghost snowplow.
Sydney, if I wasn't weak from going without food, heat, or water for the past 3 days because of Willie, I'd probably strangle you for saying that.
Hey, don't mock what you don't understand, okay? There we go. Got it going. Where's that station now?
Anyway, okay, Sydney, take that over there and let us know if anything changes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, folks, looks like everything's gonna be a-okay over here. We pulled through in the end. Everything worked out for the better, as it usually does. Happy endings all around. And next time I see Willie, he is going to die. He is going to die by my hand. I don't care who knows. There's not a jury in the land.
This is it.
Not a jury in the land, McLean.
I know we've said it. We've said it in the past, but this is it. We are going to kill Willie.
I'm not bluffing this time. No, sirree. Well, anyway, see you next week, folks. Yesterday, today. Good time, happy time. All right. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Good